Ladies and gentlemen, I am your host, Hollywood, Rob TV. But of course, I'm not your only host. I am joined by the one and only Wednesday Night Fights finest, the dawn of the West Coast, Brian F. How you doing, bro?
You know I'm feeling good. Listen, beyond, becoming the best in the West, right? Maybe for this week. Beyond that, I'm feeling good because we're just coming off the heels of one of the best CPT events yet. For me personally, because we got another boxer in Capcom Cup. Ooh. Yeah. We'll get into the details of that in a bit, but I'm feeling good about that.
You got to, bro. I mean, I can't wait to talk about Balrog. He's definitely looking like a pretty interesting character right now. And something I'm always interested in is giving big shout outs to our people over there in Japan, holding it down for us. Team No Motion, and then of course always amazing commentary jobs. Much love to you guys over at Capcom Fighters Japan. Now, a player that showed no love to his opponents was Travis Styles. We've already alluded to it. Look, this is another Balrog in Capcom Cup. I'm pretty sure that's two Balrogs at this point, Brian. Nero the Boxer and Travis Styles. And Brian, of course, you came extremely close, making it all the way to Grand Finals. And of course, and I'm not just going to name you three, we also got Pugeta. He's not in Capcom Cup, but he's just been wreaking havoc over there in Japan. What's the deal right here, man? What's the deal with the Rogue Nation?
This is looking like with the Balrog season. I'm thrilled to see it. I mean, he's been on that cusp for a long time. I mean, 2018 Season 3 was the low point. That was the low, and it's been looking up and up since then, and I think now it's kind of the culmination of the V-shift system. I think helps him out a lot. A lot of the bad matchups have been slightly nerfed, and he's always been kind of good in the meta. Like, he's fought a lot of the top tiers pretty well. I think there's only a few he struggles with, so if he can get by on a bracket where you don't run into someone using one of those few bad matchups at the highest level, like Karen, maybe one of those,
relax.
It's one of the roadblocks he has to run into. But Travis Styles showed with this tournament performance that ROG is a contender in the right hands, and with the right bracket, he's going to be wreaking some havoc. So Travis Styles took down the Australia CPT 2021 qualifier in dominant fashion. He lost only one game the whole tournament, coming close to your record of not losing any. Congratulations on that, Rob.
Thanks,
but
brother.
He came close. He lost one to Panda in the winners finals. But man, I mean, he just showed how ROG's not only one of the best, but versatile too.
That grand finals though. First off, Travis Styles, overall, his strategy, his approach towards the game. He plays a very slow game, I would say. He's not really like an aggressive child 2-3-3 type of player.
No one is.
He's like reserved. Yeah, that's a good point too. He's more reserved, like like yourself, like more neutral based. It was interesting. You brought up the fact that he lost a game to Panda, and you said that was in winners finals. In grand finals, the tap preparedness, bro. He hit the man with like 75 taps, all the way to the point where for the last hit, I want to say it was Vicious on commentary, and Vicious said,
"It's gonna be a tap to seal the game. I'm telling you right now." Taps!
I'm not sure why Panda, who had an amazing performance throughout the entire tournament, much respect, but in this one, got to call out, he said, the adaptation I did not think was there in that regard with the fireballs, but he did play well overall. But, Travis Styles, man, the way that he plays, I think that his style is the quintessential pro player style, like top player style. And when I say that, I'm saying that in the regards of, generally speaking, people are trying to safely as possible and in a way that's as replicable as possible, get their hits. So Travis Styles wants things on reaction. Neutral jump, I want to do a heavy screw upper. Or you do a fireball, I want to go for my tap. I want to check your dashes. He's not trying to open himself up at all on offense. What we saw from Travis Styles there, which makes sense that he plays boxer, is he all about fundamentals.
Right, and I like the versatility he showed, because I think that's one of ROG's big strengths this season, is that both of his V skills are fantastic. I believe against Panda, he used V skill 1 in the winners finals and V skill 2 in the grand finals, which is why we saw so many taps, because when you swap the V skill 2, which is the power up move for your dash punch, you lose the V skill 1, which is the sway, which goes around the fireballs. So your other anti-fireball move is tap. And so not only is he able to play with that safe kind of methodical approach, and he does take risks here and there. There's the dashes, the offensive explosive moments, but they're sparingly used, so they're very hard to detect. But not only that, he has the ability to switch to styles. He won 3-1 in winners finals and used a different loadout in grand finals.
That's fire.
So
That's
so
fire.
you have to see, like, I love that about Balrog, and I've been seeing myself more and more. I've been using more V skill 2 with the V trigger 1, which is what he used, which is what I thought that loadout was useless in the beginning of season 5. Pugera and the Japanese boxers were immediately on that with the V skill 2.
You
V
like
trigger
it now?
1 because I like it for just having more V meter. I don't even use the V trigger barely, right? You just, because the V shifts, the V reversals, go back to neutral. What do you do when you're neutral? You power up that dash punch and then you control the neutral. And then Travis Styles showed the ability to anti-air on reaction with the uppers. Balrog's upper doesn't have any air invincibility, right? Like, to catch a forward jump or a neutral jump, you have to choose which strength you're doing immediately. So it's not the easiest special move to anti-air with it. You cannot do it late. You must do it early. But if you can consistently react to the jump arc and get the power up like that, like, what is someone going to do, right? You control the ground with the dash punches. You control the air with the uppers. Fireball, I got tapped. So Travis Style, I mean, that was like classic season 5 textbook boxer at the highest level, and I'm thrilled for him. He's been one of those guys that we mentioned was on the cusp in the Australia scene for a long time. I mean, this top 8 was filled with a lot of the characters that we had mentioned in the pre-show before, like, you know, we had Panda in the grand finals, who made a big showing in 2020. Somniac, always present in the Australia scene, and you know, he was in that group of players who was kind of waiting for that big win, and this was his time. This was his time, and I'm really thrilled to see that he took the opportunity. He had the good bracket, and he dominated.
Yeah. Oh, Brian, don't think that I did not hear you say that just now. I heard you say he had the good bracket so that you could try to downplay Balrog. I heard you try to downplay Balrog.
You got to sprinkle it in there. You got to sprinkle it in.
But you know what, honestly, I do want to try to pull from your ROG expertise right here because, you know, of course, we've seen it, right? We've seen Japan having Balrog as like the top character in the game or something wild like that, as far as, I don't want to call it wild, but, you know, something surprising, or at least from my perspective. Now, personally, I don't see ROG as being some amazing character. As far as the changes, I do think the dash punch buff is a ridiculous buff, just to be able to do medium and heavy dash punch, and this is -4. But now they've nerfed that so that he at least stays close to you now, right? I could see V-Shift, of course, being a buff to him, but it's also a buff to a lot of different characters, right? Like, it's not like it's just him. Like, Karen is a lot stronger. Cammy, characters like that who are very good in the neutral game got better from it. So overall, I'm not really seeing what changes made Balrog just ridiculous. Do you agree with Japan's placement of him right now?
I don't think too many of them put him that high in Japan, actually. I think, like, even Pugera puts him in somewhere in the top 10. And I think he's referenced a lot as like a great secondary, because I think he has one of the best matchup spreads, and it's more of a trickle over time change, like I mentioned earlier. It's just like slowly but surely the Rashids, the Urians, the Akumas, they've all been kind of getting nerfs, and Balrog got the nerf hammer hard in season 3. I mean, he paid for his crimes with that season 2 tap in the crush counter, right? They nerfed his damage routes, his combo routes. Tap was non-existent, and he basically had very little to play with after that. He was just swinging from the front, you know, nothing to surprise you with, really. And since then, like, it's just been buff after buff after buff. A little bit of damage here and there, super confirm, some stuff to benefit the high-level players. The V skills are great and can be used interchangeably in a lot of matchups. Other characters nerfed. So, I mean, I think he's in a great position personally, and we can see that. Like, and I say the matchup spread because I still think there's a few characters that can give him trouble, but you have to know the matchup. Like, you really got to know. Like, I always mention Karen, but I still personally feel confident against most Karens because you still got to play the matchup extremely well. Right, so there's only a few characters where you're like, oh no, this is tough. I mean, Sakura can be hard, but even then, you can still win if you know the matchup extremely well. So I think he's a great character. Maybe he doesn't have as many winning matchups, but he can fight most of the cast 5-5. So I think that's why you see Japan talking about him, like even Daigo mentioning learning Balrog as a secondary to help his Street Fighter League team, because like they know Pugera and other Balrog players are coming. Or just to have as a backup, right? He's a great counter pick to a lot of top tier characters, and we see now Nero is being joined by Travis Styles in Capcom Cup, and I think this is finally the year we get more than one Balrog player in Capcom Cup. It's only been Smug, smug so far in 2017, and then in 2019 he was more of a G main, I would say, in 2019. So I'm happy to see it. Wish it could be 3. Maybe it will be later. We'll see.
I think so, bro.
Congratulations,
look,
Travis
Brian,
Style.
I'm definitely expecting there to be 3 in there because I think my boy Brian's going to be taking it, even though he's already all the way over there in Texas right now. But, you brought up him being a good counter pick. Of course, a good counter pick for Dawson, for example. All those comeback mechanics that he has, no skill required to win in that matchup. But, when you talk about counter picking, there's something that you can't counter, Brian, and that is skill. So I want to talk a bit about things in that realm right now. There's always a bit of a question about reads versus reaction, and I'm hoping that we can add something interesting to that topic. I'm interested in hearing just what you think about it as a whole. When it comes to reads and reactions, are they completely separate? How are they related, or which is more important, if you could say?
Well, we've touched on this topic plenty of times, right? When we do our match analysis. Is that a read? Is that a reaction? What is a reaction really? And what it even boils down to, like, the most fundamental question, like, what is neutral, right? Like, people don't actually want to admit
that's
it,
only Balrog players, bro. What is neutral? No, you lost me
only
there, champion. That's a Rog move. What? Dash,
what is
dash
neutral?
punch.
What is respect?
Dash punch. Yeah, like, what you talking about?
I gotta have a lot of reads to know that you're on the ground within 3/4 screen, okay?
Yeah,
that's a lot of that's some strong neutral right there. But that said, I think over time people have become more aware that a lot of the time your neutral and your reads and your reactions, even they're more like reads. Like, your reactions are reading your opponent more and more than people had admitted for a long time. If you're reacting to something, generally that means that you're limiting your focus on a certain aspect of the game so that you can shut out all other stimuli, look for a specific avenue of approach, and react to that, right? And so what does that mean? That means you're reading what they're going to be going for. But I think what I want to get on is the semantics of it. Reads versus reactions, it's how much you hedge your bets, right? You cannot call something a read when they clearly are focusing on it and looking for it, and then that to me is a reaction. A read is when you go, you know what, I have no external stimuli to know this is going to work.
You said that's risky. A reaction.
That's a read. A reaction is when you actually even if you're reading they're going to go for something, if you wait for the stimulus of seeing something happen, that's a reaction, even though you're kind of reading. Yeah. But when you go for a read, that to me means it has to be a hard read.
Yeah.
Which meaning you guess they're going to do something, and if you fail, there's consequences to failure, right? There has to be consequences to the failure. So that to me is a read, because people like to what's really interesting about this is Evo just tweeted out the classic match of Bushin versus Vi. Way back in the day, ancient history at this point in Street Fighter 4, the Hugo versus Sagat matchup, where Vi, he hadn't even done any command grabs the whole set. He gets a clap approach on Sagat's fireball and gets up close and dashes in, sits there, holds down back, Bushin jumps away scared of the command grab, and then he reacts appropriately with the air ultra to grab him out of the air. And then people were saying, like, oh, is that a read? And I don't think that's a read. I don't think that's a read at all.
At all? So to me, like, I think that there's a huge I think people talk too much about reactions. I don't think that word should even pop up too much in the fighting game community, bro. Like, some stuff just looks like a raw reaction, but as you eloquently put it already, it comes down to knowing, okay, my opponent is gonna do this in this spot. So an example that I use is anti-airing, right? It's not easy to learn to have great anti-airs. With Chun-Li, that's an example where sometimes you have a character who their anti-air is just so fast, you can more easily not be looking for the jump because it's a 4-frame startup, right? But even then, sometimes with Chun-Li, you're going to see some people get jumped in on, and they could have pressed light kick, and they didn't because they were just so focused on something else. So if it was a matter of reactions, you have 30-something, 40 frames or something to react to a jump in. So reactions are just completely overrated. Is there any player who you would say that is more? How would I put it? Like more reactions versus reads, or more reads versus reactions?
Well, what I want to make clear is there's a huge difference between raw stimuli reaction, like when the light turns green, press the button. That's so different from what a fighting game is, right?
Yeah.
You are not looking for one thing and just reacting to it, which is your example of the anti-airs. If you have a training mode dummy just jump at you and press a jump in, and that's all it did, you would anti-air it every single time, because if you can't react within the total, like, how many, like 1.5 seconds it takes for the character to go through the air and do that, then you're walking into walls in day-to-day life. You know what I'm saying? Like,
Yeah.
So it's not about raw reactions, it's about awareness. However, I think there are some players who have a slight edge when it comes to raw reactions, but I just don't think it's that important.
But I do think that overall, these are things that you can improve. Your reads and reactions, right? So when it comes to like anti-airing, I cannot at all be focusing on the air whatsoever. I'm only focused on some other part of my strategy on the ground, and they jump and my body just does the anti-air.
Right.
But whereas in the past, I had to be like, okay, this dude's gonna jump around this spot right here. And if I anti-air someone, if they jump soon after that, when I'm like, what, there's no way they're gonna jump again after I just anti-aired them, then I will almost always block the jump in or get hit by it. Whereas now my body's gonna anti-air it again regardless. So it comes down more so to, I would say, just a repetition and consciously practicing that thing in the back of your mind at least, and reads. It's kind of hard to explain like how you can practice getting better at reads, but
you can I think what people miss about reads is, and this is with Street Fighter V as a whole, and this is what, like, when Street Fighter V haters talk about the game, I think they're completely missing this aspect of the game. It's that it's about risk reward calculations, right? When people are making reads, they're usually for a reason, and that's reward. And there's a risk calculation behind that. And then they're also trying to infer with the opponent what their risk reward calculation is on what your option is going to be, right? So it's all about hedging your bets. That's what it all is. It's about calculating probabilities, like with these resources, with this meter, this life situation, the stun, positioning from the screen. Is it worth going for this? Is there an option they're likely to choose? And you're putting all that together, and then you're flipping your coin and you're making your decision, right?
And some of it,
grappler.
Some of it is going in like studying beforehand. Like for example, a read. Of course, we wouldn't normally just put reads out on players like on the show, but let's say Chakotay. We know what the El Chakotay is, bro. Because
but is that a read? Is that a read when you know their habit? Like, for example, like I know some players, when I play V-Skill 2 Brog, I know they back roll every single time and won't quick rise and punish me. And I call that out on stream before I even go into the match. And then I do it every time. Like, that's a read, sort of, but like, if it's like an autopilot habit,
but it's still,
does that really count?
Interesting. That is a read though, right? Because you don't know that they're going to do that day. But
you have a lot of evidence to support it, though.
But that's what all reads are, though, right? Because even if I never played this person in my life, I'm making reads based off of what he just did in round one, or what she
it's
just
pattern
did in round
recognition.
two.
Yeah, it's definitely pattern recognition over. It's either pattern recognition and build up over time, or conditioning, and that's like the untold story behind the read. Like most of the time, people just see like the weird, like the backdash chase down or the crazy SPD, but really what it is, it's a lot of series of events that build up to that, and it's not always easy to tell unless you're in the players' heads. But every once in a while, there's also people who just flip a coin. I think that's the beauty of fighting games too.
The last thing I want to bring up on this topic: do you think that some people like will have how do I explain? Like maybe they say something as a reaction, but really it was just a read.
100%. I think it's very difficult for people to be objective about the things they do. And like, I'm gonna call myself out. I have that same problem every once in a while, right? Like I'll be like, oh, I tech that. Did I really? Oh, I reacted to that. Did I really? Oh, there was rollback that messed me up. Was there really? And then you gotta, like, when you calm down, reflect on the footage, be like, maybe there wasn't. Maybe I was capping a little bit. You know what I'm saying? Like that happens. So I definitely feel like people sometimes don't know the reason behind what they're doing, but that's fine. I mean, you get the W. But some people operate on instinct. Bro, there's plenty of players who are amazing and they operate purely on instinct. They couldn't tell you verbatim why they did something, but they're amazing players.
I swear that's due 100%, bro. Man just plays like a straight, I don't know if I can say it on Capcom Fighters, but he plays interesting. But it works perfectly for him, and it's hard for him to exactly put it into words. But I've
never been read harder than any player than by Dude. When Dude plays
so
Mika against me,
bro.
I get grabbed or meatied every single time. And that's a read. That's definitely not a reaction. And how he does it exactly, hard for me to say, but you feel the pain of it when you're on the receiving end, that's for sure.
Yeah, and we're about to see, Brian, who is going to be on the receiving end of the pain of not making it into Capcom Cup from this Central America 1 top 16. Bro, I mean, come on, let's be honest, man. There's too many stars in this bracket, man. You got people like DR Ray, one of the founding fathers of the Latin America scene, especially, of course, DR. Man, even got it in his name. You know he representing something serious. Then, of course, we've got Kaba, one of the most hyped people in the scene, amazing guy. I guarantee you guys, right? Because, of course, Kaba was in the Latin Season 3 of Street Fighter League. I guarantee you that he is a lot stronger now than he even was when you guys saw him getting X and Y results back when Offline was around. I'm telling you that from firsthand experience. I'm very excited to see him just, represent the skill that I know that he has. And another player who has put the most work in for this scene overall, Capcom Cup champion, Mena RD. I feel like that's the main story for me that I want to follow because he's very similar to me in personality type. In some ways, when it comes to the fact that he wears his heart on his sleeve. We've seen Mena have, I was there for the classic pop off when Punk was doing all that teabagging and stuff. He beat Punk. What do? He get up, the slice the neck.
Mena brings the passion and he wears it in full force, not only in his body language, his attitude, but in his gameplay.
Yes.
That man plays mean.
He does.
Feel it. You feel the he wants to beat your ass when he plays.
It's a gift and a curse, bro. And that's the point I want to make sure I get to on the Mena. I think it can throw Mena off, and I say that not in a negative way at all, because Mena is one of the best players in our scene, most entertaining, most heartfelt, and is skill-wise, amazing player, puts on beautiful displays. But if he can keep his emotions in check, regardless of what happens, and takes it one game at a time, it's going to be a long day for his opponents.
And I just love the fact that Mena is like one of the best Street Fighter V players. Like any character you put in front of him, this guy is playing at the highest level. One of the best 11 players. Remember they did some of those 11 tournaments and he won that like free because he just plays the entire cast at such a high level. He's been known to counterpick. Of course, the birdie is the staple. It's like if you were trying to get peak Mena, it's that birdie. But he's represented so many characters for so many different matchups. So I'm really interested to see what he brings to the table for this event because it's not going to be easy, like you mentioned. We just had Evo 2021 online, and one of the other people, we mentioned a lot about the Dominican Republic. We also have Puerto Rico in this bracket. One of the other people who took Mena down in Evo 2021 online was Mono, the TO for First Attack. You talking about doing work for the scene. This guy runs a premiere and then he'll beat your ass in the bracket at the same tournament, man. This guy is a demon with that fong. He is one of the best in the business, and definitely I expect him to go pretty far. And he beat Mena RD 3-0 in losers finals for Evo Online. So they're gonna have a run back immediately after. And I'm not too sure who's going to come out on top if they have to run into each other again. I just want to give a shout out to a few other players who I expect to maybe do some good runs. Olivo, also from Puerto Rico. He's rocking Honda, used to play Ibuki. And I'm glad to see some Honda representation because Honda kind of fell off a little bit, I feel like we haven't seen too much Honda recently, so it'd be exciting to see him. And then a few other players, maybe some crossover. Another strong Dominican Republic player. He's been playing Seth a lot lately. But I think, like you mentioned, I think the main story is going to be, is DR going to be taking Central America East, or is it going to be Puerto Rico? I think those are the two main regions we're looking out for. I think there's going to be some rivalry between the two, and I'm really looking forward to see who comes out on top. What do you think? You call it?
I would say, that's rough, man. Mono's looking ridiculous right now. I do want to make sure that I take the time to shout out Hermes, because he has done amazing over this last year, at least as far as like getting his name. He's increased his name a whole lot.
A lot of momentum. Very true.
The online local, he puts in a lot of work there with this Cammy. And I just want to give a shout out to AJ Martinez because, of course he has the Cammy, but I know him primarily for his Karen play. And I don't even need to beat a dead horse when it comes to, how amazing us Karen players are, the neutral, the reads, the tact, the
most
fashion.
Skill.
You know what I'm saying? Exactly, Brian. But DR got to be the heavy favorites in the end of the day on this one, bro. I just as far as what history has shown, at least in Street Fighter V, championship pedigree goes a long way. You know, Mena, Kaba, they've been in these situations how many times, man? Different countries. You know, I remember they went over to Japan, they stayed over there for what? I don't know. It was like a week, 2 weeks or something like that. Just so that they can get extra training in outside of just the actual tournament itself. And it's very hard to have some type of a substitute for time and actually being in the situation, actual experience. And Mena has that in droves. I'm keeping honest with you, Brian. If I had to play my boy Mena in a tournament, bro, and that's my real life homie because we so similar. I'm teabagging and whatnot or something, bro. I'm not gonna lie to you. Like
you're going the psychological route.
I'm going the psychological route, quite possibly. Like I don't know, I might just do something just something weird to try to throw him off. And if I'm Mena, I'm knowing that that's coming in advance, and I'm gonna just be like, all right, you know, you got to be in Zen mode and just play your game. But as far as Mena and Kaba, and actually first before even Mena and Kaba, because I gotta respect what you just said as far as Mono 3-0 and Mena. Look, in a very important tournament, you don't 3-0 someone by accident or by luck, right? Mono got to be considered an extreme threat. He even has to be favored over Mena since he just 3-0'd him. But Mena's probably gonna come back with a completely different character this time. You know what I mean? 100%.
Yeah, Mena always bounces
strategy.
back.
Yeah, and I think that Fawn can have a hard time. Usually, this is really interesting. Usually you would say Fawn has a hard time against Birdie, or, you know, Mono, or Mena has a hard time against Mono. I think that a Fawn has a hard time against Mena, the player, because you have no wake up options. You don't hit very hard. So the risk reward of Mena's, heartfelt reads is more skewed in his favor. So I'd be surprised. I honestly think that with the Birdie, you know, the meaty, delayed bullhorns and stuff like that could be pretty rough. But it's not one that's going to be easy to call. This should be one of the better regions that we've seen this far.
Definitely. I'm super excited to see who's going to make it into this top 8, because right now we have the top 16 of the Central America East CPT 2021 coming up. I'm definitely looking forward to see who's going to put in the work today, you know, overcome all the emotions, all the stress, fight through, and qualify for that top 8 on Sunday.
It's time to start warming up. way to run off to mom then.
These matches are going to be even more ridiculous.
If you know anything about Street Fighter, you do not doubt the GOAT.
My man is always hitting go. You thought I was playing? Oh, you're hella dead. Help me out, Nadeshko.
Look how much it means to him. Wow.
Not over here. That's not over. Are you serious? My man is reading right now. My man is reading.
Welcome once again, everyone. You can see the Red Bull on the counter. That means you know Capcom Fighters is here and ready to duel it out once again. It is top 16 for Central America East. I am Ringe. This is Ultra David. How you doing, fam?
I'm really excited for this. In my mind, this is one of the strongest regions in the world. When you say CPT Central America East, you're primarily talking about the Caribbean. So, we're talking about a place that has had Capcom Cup champions in the past and still has very, very high level of skill all throughout that region. I do want to say, though, that although there's a bunch of different countries that are eligible to enter, right? Let me talk about one. Let's talk about one country.
Yeah, you go ahead. Let them know. Let them know.
All right. So of the top 16, which is what we're looking at right now, there you go. Guess how many of those are from the Dominican Republic?
This is just the winner's bracket. You can see there's two Puerto Rican representatives. We got Mono and Phoenix Wright holding it down. Phoenix Wright, excuse me. Let me fix my face. But everybody else is part of the Dominican Republic. And once you see the loser's bracket, it's not much of a different story, right? We're going to have most competitors in that loser's bracket going to be dueling it out from the Dominican Republic. And then we have one more Puerto Rican representative, giving us a total of 13 from the DR and only 3 from the PR.
Exactly right. Yeah, check it out there. That you saw the winner's side. Like he was saying, here's the sole Puerto Rican representative, Bach LX, from in this loser's side. But yeah, check it out. I mean, again, although this is primarily one country, that country really is one of the strongest on earth when it comes to their Street Fighter talent.
Yeah, and it's been just a beautiful progression of the country, of the entire region in general, seeing how prominent they are in Street Fighter V. And yeah, as you mentioned, they got Capcom Cup champions and just some of the most impressive players in the game to date. You know what I mean? I've seen Kaba, Rob TV actually mentioned Kaba in the pregame show about how lethal he's been looking, right? He's actually starting today in the loser's bracket, surprisingly enough. So we'll see how he fares coming out of the loser's bracket. Of course, Tenryu, the man who put him into loser's bracket, will be seen in that top 16 winners trying to get into the top 8 qualifiers on the Nash. So yeah, I mean, Nash is another character that I think has been really rising in the ranks and has been one of the stories of this latest season.
For sure. I think that's a really fun thing to watch. But as far as the characters go, we're expecting a really broad swath of the cast here. And just counting it down before we were even getting going, who might we see? I mean, honestly, like, it's plausible that we could see more than 16 characters in this. Like, that's a legit thing. We don't know who specifically in some of these cases we're going to see, but that is definitely a possibility, which is exciting for sure. I also want to shout out the DR scene for being, like, I guess the most educated scene in the world. There's actually more doctors than there are Puerto Ricans in this top 16. What do you think about that? Come on.
That is quite the stat. And he's not joking either. We got we got the official, information. The intel is true. And yeah, of course, we got DRA, who we've known for a long time, has been in the medical field. Hermes Venatori is a clinical psychologist. There's a director of a hospital in the losers bracket. Like, yeah, it is wild to see the Dominican Republic showing out in so many ways, right? I mean, yeah, it's great, and I know they're going to bring that intelligence to the Street Fighter V style, the in-game as well,
They always do. They always do. No doubt about that. I don't want to just talk about the DR scene, although it's right there. It's right there. But also the Puerto Rican scene, I feel, is in a great position right now. So Mono is maybe the sort of most prominent rep for them right now. He got second at EVO Online just recently, after all, which is a great thing. But, and as far as the scene in general, they've actually been putting on a great series of events for themselves. I don't know if people have been able to watch, but I highly recommend it. It's the Red Rooster Esports Fight Club League. There are 6 teams from all over Puerto Rico. This Tuesday is actually the final week of that. So check it out. It's Tuesday at 8 p.m. At twitch.tv/Red Rooster Team. It'll be Mono, Olivo, and AJ Martinez versus Forcy, El Nino, and Strange Hale, who's a really strong Ryu player.
Beautiful stuff. Yeah, definitely tune into that, of course, as we get more eyes on the worldwide competitive scene of Street Fighter V. And that is one of the most important things, I think, in building this community, and one of the things that I think people are starting to focus on, as they should. So we're going to be focusing on Central America East, as well as David mentioned, a bunch of the Dominican Republic players, a bunch of the Puerto Rican players. It's going to be a great time. I mean, we were scheduled to start with Mena RD versus Bushin Ma, but Bushin Ma is having some outage difficulties right now, so hopefully we get that all shored up by the time his match comes up. But I believe that means we're going to be starting with Hermes Venatori versus Phoenix Wright. And, Hermes Venatori has been putting it down with Cammy for a while. You heard in the pre-show, Rob mentioned that he's been really rising in the ranks as well due to the online environment and just kind of constantly competing and constantly getting in that upper echelon of results. And then Phoenix Wright on the other side, playing Birdie, had probably our favorite, I think, comments before, some of our intel that we got from the players. Do you want to read it?
Sure, yeah. So
I'll paraphrase if you don't.
No, it's cool. So Phoenix Wright says, hi, hey, I'm Phoenix Wright, but I mostly get called Nix, Birdie Main from Puerto Rico. I like to press buttons a lot and watch my opponent become increasingly frustrated by my seemingly irrational choices in game.
That's what I'm talking about, right?
Yeah.
He's a self-admitted button presser, and he aims to tilt his opponent. I always like the people that go after the psychological warfare,
Absolutely, man, after my own heart on that front, no doubt about that. I think that we have the quotes for the players lined up.
Ooh.
We can hop into that right now. And first up, we do have Bandit's Hermes Venatori, who says, he's never really faced me, speaking of Phoenix, he's never really faced me, at least that I can remember. I hope it will be a good game, and I will play in the best possible way. May the best player win. Oh, that's very magnanimous.
Indeed, right? This is a lot of respect being shown early on. So let's see what his opponent, Phoenix Wright, has to say. I want to see it. Hermes Venatori, as you sit there spiral arrowing, I'm already preparing to beat you with cans and bananas. You will feel the pain of dolphin dives and EX command grabs. You will know the pain brought to you by Phoenix Wright. Quite the difference in the promos, I gotta say. Hermes just played it pretty straight. Clinical psychologist was like, let me the best man win. We'll see how it goes. We never faced each other. Phoenix Wright, we told you from the beginning, he is attempting to tilt his opponent, and it starts with the quotes.
Up here on the commentary desk, we're supposed to be nice and imbalanced, right? But going into this, come on, man. Tell me you're not rooting for that guy right there. As far as Hermes goes, he had a lot of good things to say about the scene. He knows that the scene, Dominican Republic, has made a great effort both before and after Mena won. And he's looking for more opportunities, which I think is very well deserved. It's an honor to be here, he says. He also wants you to know he loves progressive metal.
Yeah, he had a couple of bands in there as well.
He did.
Right?
He's a big fan of Dream Theater and Opeth.
Nice. Yeah, that's what I always like getting to know our players. You know what I'm saying? It's definitely one of my favorite parts about this whole event. So.
For sure.
Yeah, it's been good stuff. I think we're getting ready for them as well. It's going to be most likely Cammy versus Birdie, which is a historical matchup in Street Fighter V, right? A lot of people contested this, whether it went one way or the other. And I think it's kind of shaken out to be not too heavily favored one side,
Yeah, I mean, that character Cammy is definitely still a terror, but Birdie has a lot of strength in this. Just as a reminder, as we start this thing off, it is first to 2 in the top 16.
And he went to the gym. The gains, Birdie. Oh, put the headbutt on her early. Yep, Ari with the meaty, just checking her, make sure she's not going to be doing anything frisky on the wake up, especially with no meter.
He wants to maintain this space right here. You look at the buttons. Man was not lying. He was not lying with what he told us earlier. He's pressing buttons a mile a minute. Okay, finally holding off.
My man's is going to Buttons Anonymous 100%. He is addicted to smashing them. Oh, he tried, but he ended up getting stuff with a dive kick. Now we got the corner game. That's where Cammy works. 9-5.
I always like watching Hermes play. Wow, okay, wasn't afraid to do it.
Yeah, and you got to be reminded about that, right? The promo, the facts that we know about him, he's not going to have any fear in his heart.
Still just fighting and actually pretty even in life.
Yeah.
Even though he's got his back to that corner, the box is already broken, but not his back yet.
Yeah, luckily. And a lot of that gray life that he incurred actually healed up as well. So nice patience being shown from Phoenix Wright while still maintaining this wall of buttons. You can see, just stuffing anything that Cammy wants to do with it, busting out as soon as he really senses the frustration from Hermes.
Took that chance to get the trigger ready. Hermes has his ready as well. He'd love to get in there. Here's the party.
Oh, he had a great read on the view reversal attempt. Just going to throw it, keep him locked in the corner. Oh, caught him pressing buttons. EX going to put him on the life deficit now.
Okay, so we've seen defense from Phoenix Wright. We've seen him with his back to the corner, but how does he get in?
Oh, Hermes actually the one, not even going to let him answer that question. Instead, presenting a little bit of a switch up of a rhythm. using the EX Hooligan to catch him off guard as he tries to approach. And yeah, I think this has been his main weakness so far. Phoenix Wright has seen a lot of concentration on the ground game. His anti-air game has not been there. It's either been too late, it's been stuffed by these dive kicks, or just in general, he's been blocking these normals, giving Cammy the advantage, and then again, just not finding any type of momentum. Just all defense.
As slow as that last one was, this one's even faster. It's Hermes already with extreme control. He's working on the perfect, not anymore, but still a huge life lead.
Oh yeah, perfectly spaced EX dive kick right there. Maz is not going to want to press anything after that. And you can see very much less active on the buttons at this point. Been bullied. Going to get the V-trigger to try to get some momentum going, but still can't find a damn thing.
Sure, he's got that extra walk speed now, but to what end? He just really hasn't been able to get offense going.
Ooh, there we go. Yeah, that's how we're going to start it with V-shift.
Okay.
Oh, that was sick.
There's EX, and it comes out to play. Hermes brings it out and takes game number 1. But that was it was great to see that offense is there.
Yes.
It's available.
100%.
He was making it work. Okay, it didn't end up working out all the way, but I do like that we saw that at least.
Exactly right. He was put it with his back to the wall. He needed to make something happen. He tested him with a dash, right, and he made sure he went with something very fast, just went with a light kick, got the counter hit confirmed afterwards. So, yeah, I like to see Phoenix Wright's offense, but still, this is the problem, right? The anti-airs just haven't been there. That time he tried with the stand medium punch, but Hermes kind of switching up the timing, going with a really delayed dive kick, just again, messing him up. And this time, he just can't find the rhythm in terms of anti-airs.
We were saying it before, but Hermes has had such a great year in terms of his online play, and you're seeing it here. He's got the spacing. He's got great... Oh, the drop just as I'm talking him up.
And this is where it's all going to come crashing down. At least that's what Phoenix Wright wants. Activation, V-reversal this time. Not going to leave him at a space to punish, but switches sides off that dive kick again. It's just been a plague, blowing up the armor as well, and then the stand medium kick, one of the best round enders in Street Fighter V, to put him on set point.
His offense is looking great. He's starting it off from a great spot where he can jump or do dive kick, and Phoenix just doesn't know what's coming next.
Yeah, we haven't seen a lot of like, oh my goodness, again. That's the EX dive kick from long distance this time. Again.
He's killing him.
Yeah.
Big trouble right now. Phoenix Wright.
Yeah, but then the plus frames there. He teched for his life right there. That would have been a stun. Massive damage. Incurred would have followed up. But right now, still just trying to fight his way out of the corner. Finally finds use of the armor.
If he can eat just a little bit more, he'll get that trigger going, get that extra walk speed. Hermes knows. Trying to hang out at a spot where he can react. Oh, can he get there in time? No, not quite.
Yeah, you had to know that the V-skill was going to come out after the dash, right? Try to get that space back to activate it. Ooh, not going to activate on hit here.
Oh!
Unfortunate air hit. Yeah, but no activation. Kind of damage being left on the table from both sides at this point. V-trigger pop, though. See Phoenix Wright trying to slowly work him to the corner. Doesn't want to present anything too risky. Let's catch him walking back, but not a big enough threat to discourage it.
Oh, yeah, it's Hermes with the offense yet again. He's right back in there yet again. That tech, super important. Oh, what timing! Unbelievable timing by Hermes. He just happened to go up into the sky at that exact moment the EX Dolphin came out, and that is a 2-0.
He tried to tell him right in the pregame. He was like, you're going to be hit with these dolphin dives. The first one he brought out met with the EX Hooligan instead. Hermes stays one step ahead and 2 games ahead. Going to be putting himself in a winner's bracket top 8.
Nice work. Yeah, look, he's a great player, no doubt about it. We've seen him a lot on the online local and other stuff this past year or so. It's been really cool to see. Continues to look very strong. We'll see him tomorrow.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, the tail of the tape was 100% the dive kicks, right? I mean, that was the thing that was plaguing Phoenix Wright from the very beginning. I mean, credits to Hermes Venatori, though, did a great job really switching up the whole jump rhythm. Like, it wasn't always an immediate EX dive kick. Sometimes it was a really late delayed dive kick. Sometimes it was a regular jump. Like, he did a real good job cycling through Cammy's approach from the air, and Phoenix Wright could just never come up with an answer. So unfortunate for him, but he will be dropping down to the losers bracket, right? So he'll be staying alive. Hopefully he can make some adjustments there, because I think there could be a Cammy or two in that losers bracket as well. No, actually, looks like a lot of guile. Lots of guile. Seth, Honda, Balrog. We'll see. He's going to be dealing with the charge characters down there, actually. Yeah. So we'll see when we get there, of course.
All right, cool. So that's the match number 1. The other 3 that we have in first round of winners side, we can just go back to the bracket there as we're teeing up the next match. Mena versus Bushin Master. Looking for that to start in a little bit as they get the connections ironed out. But Mono and DR Ray is a fascinating one. Those are 2 players who've been around in their scenes for a long, long time. These are guys who didn't just start playing last year. No, they've been around for a long time. good 15, 20 years, to be honest. In
Yeah,
both
exactly.
Cases.
They've been holding it down for a long time in their respective scenes, right? And yeah, I mean, Mono has a lot of momentum coming off that second place finish at EVO Online, but DRA has just been like, whenever I see him in any bracket, he's one of the people I'm most scared of.
Oh, for
Like,
sure.
I feel like he's always capable of beating anyone that steps up to the plate. So we'll see. It looks like we still haven't quite fixed our issues with Mena and Bushin Ma, so we're going to be keeping on with the bracket, and we are going to be going to that match that you alluded to next, going to be Mono versus DRA, which very much I'm looking forward to, right? Most likely the Fong versus the Claw, the Vega. We have seen the DRA play plenty of Ibuki as well, but a lot of the Ibuki players are kind of shying away from her nowadays, except for Shine, of course.
That's true, yeah.
I mean, even Shine plays like Cody, sorry.
Hey, let's hear what the players have to say.
Ooh.
So we hop in here.
I will play against Mono, and I think you will play with Fong. He has a high-level Fong, and I cannot neglect his skills, of course. Showing respect to one of the finest Fongs in the world, Mono is dangerous on that character. Like we said, second place EVO Online finish. I mean, and I can't even count how many top 8s at CPT events he's been in.
Oh, yeah.
So, yeah, most definitely Mono. One of the best on the character, and the respect is shown for Mr. Ray.
Same for Ray. He's one of the best in the world when it comes to that claw and has done tremendous work himself, even going back to Season 1 in Capcom Cup. All right, let's hear what Mono has to say. Red Rooster's Mono comes up here, and he has... It's actually cool that after all this time, I get to face off versus DRA, since we've been in the scene for so long and always had great matches. So I'm looking forward to it. Hope I still maintain the momentum from last week and bring a W for Puerto Rico. Again, talking about that EVO Online second place.
Yeah, that's what he's looking for. And yeah, I mean, both respect shown on both sides, I should say. Right, and that's what we expected. As you alluded to, these are two longtime veterans of the scene, two pillars of their scenes as well, pillars of their country when it comes to Street Fighter and the fighting game community. Of course, we talked about DRA showing out in multiple tournaments for a lot of years now. Of course, Mono, host, producer of First Attack, as well as the Fighting Game Club League that you mentioned as well, Team Red Rooster, captain of that team. So, like, yeah, this man wears a lot of hats in Puerto Rico. And in general, both of these guys have done so much to help their respective scenes. And it's great to see two Titans getting to face off to try to make top 8 winners.
As far as the hats that he wears, he still does wear that Dictator hat. He likes the Bison hat even still. That was the character that he used back in 4 and at the beginning of 5, but he's been running with Fang a long time. We thought it might be Claw. It's actually Ibuki.
It is. Yeah, we alluded to a lot of the Ibuki players kind of shied away from her, but right now, DRA says, I'm going to build a little bit differently. Composed uniquely, constructed uniquely, and we'll see if he brings some unique skills to the Ibuki that we haven't seen before.
Either way, we got good mobility on his side. We got ability to get through those clouds. He's already harassed pretty well. Even from full screen, it's not easy for Mono to get set up. Here you can.
Yeah, exactly. Off the knockdown, he's setting up for Umenda.
Spending those kunais. Okay, importantly, getting one back, getting a couple back right there. It's going to be really big for him to be able to harass.
Oh, yeah, he tried to set up the cloud at the wrongest moment. Ooh, and actually caught the jump. You know, knock him down, and again, just that sweep. We're getting overtime for Mono, respecting the plus frames of the coward crouch.
Woo! Stealing some turns in here as well.
Yeah. You see DRA really just kind of picking his moment, staying very patient and when to challenge. Loading
That's a real projectile right now. That's V-Trigger 1. Is that going to be the round? Yep.
I like that from Mono. Yeah, going with the classic loadout as well. V-Trigger 1, V-Skill 1. No pulling the sleeves back.
Okay, Ray with the plus frames finally in there. Not for long. It's been hard for him to mount that offense.
Yeah, at least with the life lead at this point, he doesn't have to make something happen immediately, but he's going to be very wary of that poison. And unfortunately for him, still ended up landing in it. So it's going to be slowly ticking away.
Okay, not anymore. As soon as you hit him, it's gone.
I like that a lot. Great V-Skill usage right there.
Ooh. And activation. He can set up, yep, he can set up a little bit of trickiness. It didn't work out. Here's Ray. He's got his own tricky setups coming in. Oh. Looking for the cross-upples Mono. That's not what came.
Yeah, stayed on the safe side, and then the EX escape gets thrown. And yeah, DRA scrambling with the best of them right there, making sure he slugged it out to great effectiveness. That's what ended up turning around for him in the first place. Oh, ooh. A little bit too far for the EX. I like the idea, though. That's definitely something you got to keep in mind if you're Mono going forward.
Very
challenging after the plus.
Well, first round he didn't. Second round, third round he has so far.
Ooh, the EX2 ships passing in the night right there.
Can he get out? No? Okay, that's fine, though.
Yeah, but this time using the V-shift. Yeah, I really like this defense of the coward crouch plus frames from DRA, but this time Mono the one challenging. Waking up with the buttons. Tech throw, EX sleeves, catching the backdash.
Looking for that sleep activate. Ray knew it. Blocking it out. Good stuff. He is worried, though. Can he get it there? No, but it's a real projectile in V-Trigger 1. It's a real thing that you have to contend with right there.
That was so smart.
Wow.
And I think DRA, that kind of just slipped his mind a little bit, or maybe thought he would recover in time after the V-Trigger to not eat that projectile. But unfortunately for him, it was a mistimed a bit. And yeah, because it was a real hit carries, a real stun, made sure to cash out and sent him to the stars. Well done for Mono taking the first game.
Yeah, looking good right there. I mean, it's a fun matchup either way. A lot of back and forth in that. I like seeing more challenging from DRA. Maybe I'd like to see even a little bit more than that. Sticks it out with the Buki.
Man, yeah, that was a really close first game, honestly. I thought it was going to be DRA until Mono just turned it around at the very end. Double slap up. Yeah, and then this time again, just kind of respecting. You see maybe holding up right there.
Great spot. Great anti-air by Mono. He's got exactly what he wants right now. Fang with that corner control.
Yeah, the harassment has been super on point. You can see he's keeping it compact, too. Not ever getting greedy with his plus frames.
No, yeah, you're right. And he backs off even a little bit here.
Yeah, at this point with such a life lead, right, trying to make DRA take some risks to get in, but DRA, ooh, actually reading the kunai, then getting out of it, and then the counter crouch.
Oh my god, other side. It's match point. Mono, that fell apart real fast for Ray right there.
Yeah. And I love Mono just never being greedy right now with the plus frames, not with the corner situation. Like, he is just always smart. And then he knew at that point, since he had such a big life lead, that one of the primary ways for Ibuki to get in right there was the EX kunai, right? And he just used that predictability to get an even bigger life lead.
Ray trying to find his way up close versus this character. The walls are coming out. There's a punish. Nice. Still has it. A little bit of a corner control. Yes, here he is.
Yeah, this is a great stuff from DRA. V-shift to the corner, goes unpunished.
Not making it easy on Mono to find his way out of this thing. Tried to get out. No.
Yeah, it's completely locked down from DRA. Oh, try for the air there. Man, that was a funky situation. Blocked and punished now. Poison could be ironed up as well. Yeah, just stayed counter crouching and then dodges it in the sky as well.
I can't believe he made it through that.
That was so slick. My man's kept it composed.
Oh, this is actually dangerous for Ray now. Oh. Okay, could have been even worse.
Uses one EX, still gets hit, and Mono brings it all the way back to take a 2-0 victory over DRA and puts himself in top 8 winners bracket, continuing that momentum indeed.
Wow, that was a really, again, back and forth round for sure right there. It looked like it was in Ray's favor for a little while, and then there was Mono stealing it back.
Both games where it was the round-ending round, I felt like were DRAs, both times. And then Mono ended up bringing it back, right? Especially that last one. I mean, that was a massive life lead. And it felt like once it got to that point, Mono never took any more damage, right? Like once it got to that last bit of chunk that he ended up winning with, he never incurred any more hits or anything. So that was really good stuff from Mono again. I mean, you can see just how much of a veteran he is on that Fong and why he's considered one of, if not the best in the world.
Yeah, I think a little bit of an underrated aspect of the character is the comeback ability. I think we don't really talk about that when it comes to Fang. He's not the best in the game at it for sure, but I also don't think he's weak at it at all. Okay. I definitely think that he has the ability to make that comeback. You most often see it with V-Trigger 2, with V-Trigger 1 doing big work right there.
Yeah, that was incredible stuff too. Yeah, I usually see the V-Trigger 2 exactly, right? But he really made V-Trigger 1 super effective too. We saw like major turning points in the match or round sealing moments happen because of that ball, the poison orb becoming a real projectile.
Well, good work. Again, because of that victory right there, Mono moves on into top 8. We'll see him tomorrow, and no longer for today. Next match we're going to have will be down there on the bottom, as it's TBK Tenryu versus TMM Louis Man. That is Team Masterminds Louis Man down there. So Tenryu comes into this as the player who sent Kaba down to loser's side. Look, everybody, I think, expected Kaba to be one of the favorites. Doesn't mean you're going to win everything, right? But he's a very well-known player, extremely strong, has had very, very strong results in the past, and I think many of us were looking at him to make a deep run. Certainly he still can,
100%.
But that win by Tenryu was huge.
Yeah, and that really puts him on the map, right? I want to see what these players have to say, especially Tenryu. We didn't really have much intel on him going into this, so we'll get to see his quote here in a moment. I believe that's what we're going to start with. Oh, no, we're starting with the Louis Man quote. He is the last Nash in DR, so I have to be prepared. Wow, okay. So representing for the character, and I mean, yeah, he is the one that ended up beating Kaba, right? So just that alone is going to let you know that he is a dangerous competitor, and we've talked a little bit about this at the top of the fact that Nash has been one of the premier characters, one of the premier stories in the latest season of Street Fighter, and the success he's seen, especially in the Latin American scene, right? We've seen a lot of players out of Brazil playing him at a very high level, so definitely a good one to watch out for. But yeah, let's see the other quote as well.
What does Tenryu have to say here? We got a little longer one. Louis Man is an excellent player, and I'm looking forward to our match. Thanks to everyone that supports me. I wouldn't be here if it wasn't for them. And hashtags, all sorts of stuff. Nash Army as well. Yeah, that's super cool. I think that's really great. I mean, he was a character that certainly got some help in recent times. A little bit scarier in the mid-range, a little bit scarier in terms of offense and pressure. And that's great. You know, he was, I think, a character that everybody thought was on the weaker side of things.
Yeah.
So good to see that help comes. For Louis Man, he is primarily a Dhalsim player. He also plays Rose. I am not sure which one of those two he's going to pick. I asked him, and he was just like, look, I'm playing Dhalsim and Rose. He didn't want to give me that extra intel, you know? So we'll see what he has coming in here.
Ooh, okay, all right. Yeah, especially for the Nash, it'd be very interesting to see. You mentioned he's a little bit more explosive now, right? The V-Trigger 2, definitely a very threatening V-Trigger. Can kind of impose his will with the plus frames, and it's a mad damage if it actually hits. And it's very scary. We saw a lot of Nash versus Dhalsim at the Intel World Open. And Nash could definitely get in with that V-Trigger 2 and really make you explode. So I wonder if he's going to start with the Rose, especially with those buffs to Rose here in the latest patch, right? The fact that the Scarf is now like fully air invul. So maybe it will catch him out of some of the shenanigans he can go with some of the sidekicks and whatnot. But we will see, of course. And Louis Man, I think also the stand medium punch, I think got buffed a little bit for Rose as well. So we're going to see if he wants to test out those changes or perhaps just fall back on Dhalsim. But it looks like that is what he is going to do.
Fair enough. Yeah, he said to us, I want Dhalsim or Rose to win Capcom Cup. And also, I want to have good matches with my opponents. So we're looking for that second one, especially right now as he floats in.
That's always what I want to see. What everybody wants to see, the good matches. And he's going to be rocking the V-Skill 1 and the V-Trigger 1 as well. Old school stuff. And, of course, Tenryu rocking at the V-Trigger 2 and V-Skill 2. No surprise there.
Out of there. That mid-range is really different now. That soul-back kick is so strong for Nash. It used to be that Dhalsim had extreme control in those situations. And I don't really think that that's true anymore.
Yeah. Oh, my goodness. And the knee as well. Coming out early. Tried to get that V-Skill 2, but a great quick rise from Louis Man, being very aware of the game plan of Nash at this point.
Woo! Look at the great life is all up there.
Yeah.
Tenryu battling.
And Dhalsim is so good at cashing out that because of the long distance normals, you can't eat one. Ooh, and he keeps trying to tag him with it. And yes, Tenryu took a major advantage of the fact that Louis Man wanted that great life. 100%.
Yeah, Louis Man pressing buttons because it would have been so much damage, but there you see the problem with it. Tenryu with a great read.
Yeah, and that stand medium kick, that long distance button that got jumped in on, that I think is the security blanket for Dhalsim's when they want to cash out that great life.
It's pretty good usually.
Yeah, 100%. Look, I mean, it's just a great button in the neutral in general.
Yeah, and contending with, again, that soul back kick at that range is definitely a big deal. You see the utility already for it.
Ooh.
One thing that Louis Man's great at is playing offense with Dhalsim as well. He's got some of the more creative uses of Dhalsim's offense. I love seeing that aspect of his gameplay. We haven't really seen too much of it yet.
Yeah, he's already got the V-Trigger 1 as well. Gets the throw off that really well-spaced drill kick. And we're going to activate it off the counter hit light kick all day, every day. Plus frames and good tech. Tech for his life right there.
He's not going for the overhead low. That's the risk right here. Look at Tenryu battling. Still overhead was there. Here's Tenryu. If he finds another hit, he can take this round.
100%. The CA is on deck. Oh, and he gets the counter hit. Just goes into the sweep. That's plus frames. Yeah, he's got a V-reversal out of there. No more V-trigger available, but he still has the CA on deck. Louis Man very close to building his own as well. Oh, catches him out of the yoga stasis, gets the corner, but we still press buttons. Louis Man, no fear shown. Saw it was a little bit of a scrambly hit, right? So he took his, placed his bets on the stand light punch.
Here's the anti-air finally, and maybe in some control. We haven't seen too much of it from Louis Man due to that great mobility, great button timings. Again with the short, love to see that.
That stand light kick has been a clean anti-air. Oh, yeah, just dashed in his face, caught him flinching with the crouch fears.
Here's the Louis Man now. He's got the trigger as well.
V-reversal just wants to get out of that corner. Now he's got Dhalsim there. Then by that space back. You see the Sobot, though. So good at ruling that space that Dhalsim wants to get in.
Saving that bar. Louis Man scheming forward.
Oh, actually catches him out of the sky. Wants to give him but a quick tech here. Tenryu actually using a sidekick. We haven't seen too much of that in the neutral. And again, it looked like the stand light kick. It could have been one of the other ones, but that's what we've seen time and time to combat that drill.
He was just so strong at that range. I mean, there's other strengths in there, certainly, but that specific spot where Sobat's threat, where you can react to drill with stand light kick, where you can jump over a medium kick that you think is coming with a big combo, right? That range actually was really strong for him in that game.
Yeah, 100%. Man, that was good stuff from both sides, honestly. I really like the way they're playing it, but it looks like we're going to get a character select. I know we're going a bit of an extended break here, so yeah, it looks like my man's gonna try to switch it up a little bit because Tenryu, I mean, he looked clean on the dash for sure.
Yeah, he definitely did. And again, I think part of what was so clean was that he was giving Dhalsim problems where Dhalsim wants to be.
Yeah.
So, okay, maybe it's the Rose that we're going to see here from Louis Man. Again, that is a possibility for him. He likes characters that give him, I mean, in some ways they're similar, right? And so he's not the only Dhalsim that's playing Rose. There are a few. You have zoning ability. You have teleport mix-ups, if that's what you'd like to go for. You have they're not the most mobile characters in some senses, and at the same time, they're both very mobile, right? They're kind of funky zoner mobile options.
You could see the similarities, at least in terms of what would appeal to a player. Right, so yeah, I could definitely see why Louis Man might be wanting to try out this Rose again. But Tenryu did a great job really utilizing those Nash buffs that we talked about, right? The Sobot kick, doing a great job. But the fact that it's forward advancing is just so good because, like, even when he loses to, like, the standard medium kick, it still pushes him a little bit closer, right? So that's why even when it loses or trades, he just does it again. And he just keeps putting that pressure on the corner. But we're actually not going to get a character change. Just probably breaking up the momentum a little bit, perhaps rethinking the strategy overall because we are in 2 out of 3, right? He's only got one loss that he can give up. So I like this from Louis Man, breaking up the pace a bit. Nice. The upwards
putting on the
fireball.
track here. Same trigger, same B skill, no change on that. And same looking match so far as light kick is there. This is not a safe spot.
Yeah, unfortunately for him, the drill hit a little bit too high. Got punished for it. Ooh.
Now finally maybe with corner control. No, battling out instantly it was Tenryu.
Wow, yeah, actually throws just as the drill lands in front of him. Slightly missed space here. Now we're going to get that corner locked down. Louis Man got to try to figure out when to press his buttons. He's got the V-trigger on deck here.
Tenryu always there to challenge.
Yeah, he's been showing no fear, no respect either. The V-reversal actually was going to be spin here. Yeah, using the EX to get some space.
Again, a lot of gray life up there. Not quite punished. And then that medium kick is what he wanted, but in every case almost, it feels like Tenryu's been there. He puts himself at match point.
Yeah, yeah, committing to that. Not too big of a punish, though, just taking the light punch. My goodness, yeah, he has really been harassing the Dhalsim, fighting the roundhouse, but again, he's just keeping it compact and making sure that, like, any and all pressure is going to make sure it beats the buttons that Dhalsim wants to press.
Louis Man's holding on to the spot, but I kind of feel like to what end? Okay.
Wow. Taking out the skies. He's ruling everything.
Worried about super, maybe it seemed. Tenryu's on the approach. There is trigger, but he wanted it, and Tenryu denied.
Oh, it just gives him the noogie at the end right there. Overhead to make sure knocked on the dome one more time. And Tenryu, I mean, look at that. He is being combo. He's being Louis Man on this Nash, the last Nash in the Dominican Republic. And I mean, he is showing out as he should. Top 8 winners bracket.
Yeah, the last Nash is something people used to say when that character was weak. Oh, he's the last Nash. This character's legit. Okay,
yeah.
all right. The implication of the last Nash is, oh, poor Nash. Oh, it's such a tough time.
No longer.
It was, but not anymore. Exactly. I mean, again, hats off, as you were saying, to Tenryu. I think he played that so well. I really liked where he stood. I really liked his reactions. I really liked his pressing the issue a lot versus Louis Man. So Louis Man down in losers.
Yeah, great just Nash play overall, right? And making sure that Louis Man never felt comfortable, never got his game plan going. And that's what you need to do in fighting games in general. Make your opponent uncomfortable. Put yourself at the best positions to succeed. And that's what Tenryu did time and time again. And that's why he's going to be in top 8 winners tomorrow, going up against Mono as well. So, I mean, that is going to be an interesting matchup. The Nash versus the Fong, definitely not one we see on the regular at all in high-level play. So I am glad that we're going to be exposed to that tomorrow, of course. And we're going to find out in a little while who Hermes Venatori is going to play as well when we get that Mena RD versus Bushin Master Match on the way. But that's going to be in a little bit, I believe.
That's right, yep. Look, we're watching at players in the Caribbean, but for everybody in North America, head on over to compete.playstation.com to learn more about the PlayStation Tournament Summer Win-a-thon event going on until August 31st.
Indeed, indeed. The PlayStation tournaments have been a great joy. You can sign up at compete.playstation.com, as David said, so make sure you get in on that. Up your Street Fighter V skills. And of course, I believe we got another great supporter of the Capcom Fighters. We got the Capcom authorized mobile game for Street Fighter Duel is now available for download in China, and a global version is also coming soon. Follow Ryu, Chun-Li, and others to explore the mysterious organization, experience the classic stories with all your fighters, and recall your memories of the original Street Fighter. Counter, stun, combo, super, an impressive array of fighting elements, and the innovative multiplayer combos offer you a new battle experience, challenging your strategy and control. A variety of PvP gameplays and tournaments with in-game rewards will definitely inspire you to fight. The arcade legend is reborn on mobile. Download Street Fighter Duel now and join with the journey with millions of players to find out who is the best fighter indeed.
Well, we've seen 3 attempts at showing who the best fighter is for this weekend. We have a bunch more left in this top 16. Don't go anywhere.
Guess it's time to start warming up.
Alrighty, it's back for more Street Fighter V on the Capcom Pro Tour as we're hanging out in Central America East. The Caribbean is where we're at. So we've seen now 3 of the first 4 winners side matches in this top 16. We're going to be coming up next with the final of the round 1 winners side. That means, as you can see right here, that we're going to be going right back up to the top where it's Bandits Mena RD versus TMM Bushin Master.
Yes, indeed. We got the match delayed a little bit due to some electrical issues, but that has been all solved. We are ready to get into it, find out who our last participant in that top 8 winner side is going to be, whether it will be the former Capcom Cup champion, Mena RD, easy for me to say, or his opponent, right? We're going to be definitely seeing the Bushin mob, bringing the Zeku most likely. We know he's got a Kami as well. And then on the other side, Mena's got so many characters, actually. The Birdie, the Karen, the Sakura. We were talking a little bit about it before we went on air, who we actually thought he was going to play against the Zeku to start it off. And obviously, I think Birdie could do well in the matchup. I think Sakura is a little bit more stable of a character. I think it will be one of the two, but I'm not sure which one.
All right, well, let's see what the players themselves had to say. What do we got up here? Starting things out, Bushin Master. Mena RD is the strongest player I've ever faced.
Oh.
He's a genius. I'll have to give 200% in order to win this one.
You know, I feel that, man. I definitely feel that, right? If you are a Capcom Cup champion, if you've been at the top of the mountain, I consider you a genius. Like, it takes so much to win at the high level in fighting games that it is definitely an impressive feat. But he's got to not sell himself short, you know what I'm saying? He got here as well. He's in top 16 winners. I'm sure he will present a threat. But let's see what Mena has to say, of course. He's been in this position many a times. Good luck to Bushin. Let's have a good game. And like I said, right, this is a quote from a player that's been here before. He's been in many a top 16 winners. He's been many a top 8 winners, and he's won a lot of tournaments. And you could tell by the quote he's used to it. This is just another day, a 9 to 5, and we're going to see if it's another bag with another body in it, you know?
Well, Bushin Master is somebody who comes at this almost from the opposite side as Mena RD. Mena RD's been playing since he was a youngin'. Not that he's an old man, but he's been playing for a long time at this point. Bushin Master says, I'm a fighting game enthusiast since 2019. 2019? What? So almost his entire fighting game competitive career comes even during the pandemic.
Yeah.
Like, that is remarkable. So he's a newbie to the Street Fighter world and is already at a very, very high level of play. That's a super, super fast run from, but this game looks cool, to here I am in top 16 at the Capcom Pro Tour.
It's really incredible stuff, right? He is going to be representing that Zeku. Wild. It's still wild. The fact that he picked up fighting games in general in 2019, that he's already doing this well on them. And I mean, he's picking up a fighting game that was not new in 2019. You know what I mean? This is already years in the game, and he's beating people that have played even, you know, have 3 more years than him. It's really impressive.
This man on the left side was Capcom Cup champion already years before Bushin Master started playing.
Man, so, but Mena is going to go with the Sakura, right? We talked about her being a little bit more stable of a character. Oh, but the air throw from Bushin? That's how we're going to set the tone?
Oh, really good awareness by Mena RD. He's going to go into activation with that fast V reversal. Bushin Master's out of there.
Yeah, ducking the fireball as well with the shoulder, going into the ult, trying to harass with the grams from long distance. Double jump. And putting him back in the neutral, though. Yeah, you can see he's really trying to space these jumps at a spot where it's not easy for Sakura to anti-air.
I really like this in and out style so far from Bushin Master. Cool. You don't know where he's going to be. Is he going to be up close? Is he going to be zoning? It's just hard to know.
Yeah, and a really great check as soon as Mena RD try to get close as well. Man's keeping a lot on the mental stack at once, but Mena RD making it all crumble with the double dash. But he just wakes up with the EX Bushin flip, catching him off guard. Instead, tried to go with the sweep to activate the V trigger afterwards, but it ended up messed up. And then he throws the V reversal. Mena RD showing the genius that he is.
I liked a lot from both players in that round. A really, really cool start.
It was honestly just the fact that the sweep was mistimed, right? That meaty sweep. Like, because of that, it ended up falling apart. But Bushin Master was about to take that round.
Super good awareness by Mena RD yet again. He moves in here. He's got the knockdown. He's got the corner for himself. It's big trouble now for Bushin Master. Big trouble yet again.
Yep, he's on the verge of stun at this point. Trying for the V reversal. Mena RD is just throwing him to death at this point. I think he was going to go with it again right there. That's why Bushin. Oh, nice delay rise. Dodging the V skill stuff.
Just like that. Is this? Okay. Okay. All right. Mena RD is there.
Yeah.
Medium air to air with jump medium for the float into game number 1.
Had all the resources available to make sure he stilled that round, which he did. Great stuff from Mena RD right there, man. He's just so good on these type of characters, right? The Birdies, the Sakuras, the Karens, these footsie-based, very good walk speed, neutral type characters. And I mean, you heard Brian F. highlight that in the pre-show, actually, how like during the 11 tournaments, he would just win them free because he is very good at Street Fighter V. Like, he knows how to play this game.
That's for sure. And you can see him really get the sense of when he smelled blood, you know, when he knew that it was time to go in. And I think he senses that yet again as he's here. There's only V meter on his opponent's side.
Yeah, and the fact that the down forward roundhouse, it beat him out of the air. It was going to act as a meaty just in case he stayed on the ground, like covering any and all angles of escape. Now you got a guess for the game. What's it going to be? Wakes up with the crouch light kick. Wow, it ended up scrambling to something here. V-Ship gets caught, but a little bit too far for the light kick to combo.
He really wants that activation, so Mena was in the sky, denying it and going up to match point.
Yeah, Mena RD has done a great job not getting stuck in those V-trigger shenanigans from Zeku and has put himself on set point, as you said.
I'd really like to see more of this offense right here, because the defense has not been cutting. Okay, Mena RD senses the same thing. I'm out of here right away.
Exactly right. He knew that Bushin was going to really try to present some offensive game, not let him play whatsoever. So first EX bar, he just busts out. And now back to the neutral where he's been dominating, busts out from Bushin.
But the challenge is there for Mena RD. Trying to hold on. Here he is for pressure.
Yeah, and you saw, again, Mena RD took to the skies as soon as he got his sweep range. Bushin tried to do it too, but he just lost the air-to-air. Now he's stuck in this corner. Again, still wants to slide. Mena RD. I mean, you're going to have to reach deeper in the playbook to start getting the V-trigger activations on this man. He knows what you want. He knows what that level 1 says, and he's never going to let you get it.
I think you can see the genius right there. I mean, to be honest, he said, Bushin Master said, I'll have to give 200% in order to win this. He needed an even higher percentage than that.
Yeah.
It was just, it seemed, after that first round, which was close, it was back and forth.
Yeah.
After that, it was almost entirely Mena. And in those last couple of rounds, not only was he playing fantastic offense and pressuring, but he also challenged in the few situations where he was knocked down. He was there for the challenge right away to blow it up. Whether it was EX or whether it was waking up with a button. And that he knew exactly when his opponent was going to try to go for sweep activate, going up into the sky. Like, he read his opponent like a book right there.
And it was so good too, because like even the one time where Bushin Master or Bushin Mod didn't actually do a sweep, he went with a jump of his own. He was there with the air-to-air button immediately, right? He was like, nah, like I don't care what you're gonna do. I know the type of things that you're looking for right here, and he shut down option A and option B with one option. So I mean, that's just the genius on display from Mena as per usual, and he will be our last participant in that top 8 winners to take on Hermes tomorrow.
There you go, all locked up. So winner's side, we're going to say goodbye to for today. That one's all locked in. Mena RD versus Hermes Venatori. Mono versus Tenryu. And now, in loser's side, where we're going to spend the rest of our time, starting out with Tigers, Jimmy DR versus Crossover. You can see the rest. Ixac versus Back LX. We got Zero Stress. Not O Stress. Zero Stress. I love that name. Versus Tigers, Brian D. And then Bandits Kava versus Mr. Estrella to back it up.
Yes, indeed. We are down into the losers bracket. That means all heartbreak, right? Get the sad playlist going. Turn on the Mariah Carey because, yeah, everybody is going home at this point. There's not going to be anybody that loses that's going to get another chance. This is do or die.
So let's head into the quotes for these players here. What do we have next? Crossover says, I haven't been able to play SF5 lately due to being busy, but I'll do my best to win from losers. Jimmy is a great player, and I'm excited to play him, but no matter who is my opponent, I will keep moving forward.
Yeah.
And he has been really strong for a long time. This is somebody who's made it very far in the past. 2018 Capcom Cup finalist, for example. Been a strong player for several years at this point for the Dominican Republic.
Yeah, exactly. One of the premier players, 100%. And let's see what Jimmy has to say as well, his opponent, who should be piloting the Balrog. Crossover has always been one of the best in the world, so I really want to beat him. I like that, right? Of course, there's always matches that are presented to players that are on the rise or are not quite thought of as highly as someone like a Crossover or something like that. And those are big opportunities to really put yourself out there and make a name for yourself, right? Not only in the public's eye, but to yourself to kind of increase that confidence, increase that aura a little bit. And I mean, this is definitely a chance for Jimmy to do so. And he's going to need to, because this is loser's bracket. Again, 2 out of 3. He will be sending Crossover home. So that is a big message. He won't quite get in the top 8 yet, but that will definitely give him a lot of confidence going forward for that qualifying match.
Jimmy also says, I want to beat the best boxer in the world. And I mean, he's making some good inroads at that. He's a very strong player. We're looking for a boxer here. We're looking for probably an Akuma here.
Yeah, Crossover has dabbled with the set a little bit.
Yeah.
We'll see which character he chooses today. But either way, on the other side, I am expecting the Balrog. And yeah, we've seen the Balrog talk a little bit about it on the pre-show, right, as well, because of my man Brian F. being part of the pre-show. Balrog usually does come up. But that's another character that has done really well, right? We saw Pugera decimate people in the Intel World Open qualifiers. He didn't do as much decimation in the actual regional close part, but still, like, he has been showing out. We've seen Brian F. do really well. Obviously, been winning the WNF since moving to the West Coast. But yeah, we've just seen this character a whole lot, along with like Nash and a lot of these characters, even some Ryu. These characters that were kind of, I guess Balrog's not really in that category though, of like he was away from the meta.
Yeah,
he's always been kind of in the mix.
For sure, yeah. And again, just to remind you, we're expecting a lot of different characters today. Very possible we could see a Honda, a Seth, an Ed, a Guile, a Ryu from the remaining players as well.
Ed, dude, I cannot believe it. And Ed, my man, the person that is named Zero Stress plays Ed, by the way. I don't know how that works, but my man, I would love to see. I'm surprised he's not the clinical psychologist. He feels like he's got life figured out. But anyway, he'll be coming up a little bit later. Right now, I believe we are going to get Jimmy a Crossover. And yeah, Crossover has done super well for so long, online, offline. Like, he is a great threat. And again, when you come up against players like that, these are big opportunities, like I mentioned before. So we're going to see if Jimmy kind of maintain his composure, right? Crossover is obviously going to have like the advantage of the tournament experience, right? With all the eyes on him, just the type of environment, the type of emotions that you go through being in a tournament. Crossover is going to be very used to it. I'm sure Jimmy is going to be as well, but when you're facing off against someone like that, you got to make sure that you don't get caught in the lights, caught in the name, right? That's definitely something that we've heard a lot. We've seen players that like just go online with a Heidi account and have more trouble than they would with their regular name, right? Because people just see a notable player and show them more respect than they should.
That's absolutely right. Yeah. As far as how their paths have gone so far, Crossover lost to Bushin Master and then beat AJ Martinez to qualify. Jimmy lost to Mena RD.
Okay.
Mena RD is looking pretty good this weekend. He beat Olivo and Droker in winner's side. So both of those players having contended with both Puerto Rican and Dominican players. And now it's the matchup we were looking for here, Akuma versus Boxer, between these two.
No surprises here. We'll see what the V loadouts are going to be as well. Again, this is going to be our first losers bracket match, so 2 out of 3 remaining all today. We'll get to the 3 out of 5 stuff tomorrow, but right now, loser goes home. Winner moves on to a losers qualifying match.
Happy Halloween. It's that zombie Akuma skin. You see that color? Look at this. Ugh.
Yeah, with the Halloween in the background, as you mentioned. Just to build upon that point, First Attack 2021 going down October 30 and 31st. So if you want to spend your Halloween in Puerto Rico, holla at Mono.
Trying to take his turn right there was Jimmy, not letting anything go by.
Yeah.
Keeping it slow, though, in this situation here. We haven't seen jumps. We've seen patience. Dash, first big chance.
Yeah, I was going to say, both players definitely showing a lot of respect to each other's grounded options. We don't see the V-Skill 2 actually coming out from Balrog, though. This is V-Skill 1, V-Trigger 1, giving him an option to bypass some of the fireballs, but we haven't seen that quite yet. Crossover has worked towards the corner with a couple of clutch throws. Big fierce, though, and the meaty was there. Tries to reset with the overhead, but a good block.
Yeah, great awareness by Crossover, who now has his own trigger if he can get it started.
Yeah.
No, Jimmy's there. Plenty of damage left on the table even after that.
Yeah, that was one of those moments where it felt like he was shown just enough animation and he pressed the button when the rush punch was coming out, and it wasn't invincible, so he ended up getting counter hit. Unfortunate. Oh, speaking of counter hits, though, the crouch fears, the hezzy crouch fears. You know, open him up, the throw as well, starting to build that pressure.
Didn't take the bait right there. I like the defense by Jimmy. Surgical with that sweep.
And you see the stay medium punch buffer has been a popular choice for crossover as well. Oh, yeah, he was looking for the neutral jump to beat that rush punch, but well spaced, checks the legs as well. EX successfully working out for crossover for now, but again, back to the neutral. Nobody's been able to take a significant advantage. Oh, my goodness, after the rush punch is the EX screw upper.
He's looking for a button from crossover. Nothing came, but he got hit anyway.
That's how you feel, my man?
Double dash. Crossover still has a lot to say in this round right there. Still has that trigger. He can still make it happen. Jimmy hanging out. He's got 2 bars for V reversal if he wants. He's got a bar for V shift if he wants.
Yeah, crossover is really racking his brain. Oh my goodness, the fireball, that was so smart. Oh my goodness, and he caught him reaching. Let's go, crossover, bringing it back. That fireball to activate the V trigger, like, immaculate. Like, I was like, how is he going to get close enough to get an activation, right? Hey, oh, that was kind of nasty as well. Showing him one way and going the other.
Seen a couple of risks from Jimmy. He doesn't seem afraid to do that kind of stuff.
Yeah, this has been a really exciting first game.
Still crossover's chance. He's still here, no confirm. Buttons from Jimmy instead.
What a big challenge. Huge damage off that, significant life lead. Now double dash, but he's not sitting on it.
Guys back and forth. Oh! Crossover's in trouble. He busts out.
Yeah, I like that. Gonna be able to switch sides as well. We've seen crossover make things happen at a life deficit. This is no issue to him. Tries to get him with the throw bait. Not biting just yet. V reverse on the plus frame fireballs.
It's a lot of V meter spent right there, but Jimmy's out of that situation.
Yeah, not looking for the V trigger whatsoever. Just using that V system defensively.
All he needs left is 1, maybe 2 hits. He knows it. Crossover knows it too. He's on the approach. He's looking to walk and block.
Yeah, now crossover. He doesn't have any V trigger to go into. So trying to utilize those fireballs. That's what beat the Stand Fierce game last time. But Jimmy, the rush punches coming out. The big nooch game. 1-0 to the Balrog. Yeah, it's very hard for, I think, any character with that low, a little bit of life left to really try to gain ground on a Balrog, right? It's just one of the best things the character is good at.
You could see him going into the sky a couple of times, probably getting over a dash punch. And right there, I think that was maybe the same intention, but he was just a few frames too late for it, right? If he had been up in the sky, it would have been a different result.
Yeah, 100%.
In any case, it was not. Sounds to me like we're going back to character select right here. We're waiting a little bit. And as you mentioned, crossover also plays Seth. We might be seeing a switch.
Yeah, potentially, right? We did see one of our players go back to the character select earlier. It resulted in no switch, right? No V system switch whatsoever. So we're going to see if he switches up the V trigger. I don't really expect that. I do expect it to be a full character switch, if anything. But, of course, it could just be use this time to break up the momentum a little bit, rethink how Jimmy's kind of approaching this matchup, how he's approaching the Akuma. But as you mentioned, he was definitely looking for the jump in over that dash punch. But it was just great recognition from Jimmy, kind of recognizing when he was going to get in that space to take to the sky, right? He was like, all right, I will meet you in the middle if you're not quick enough with that rush punch. And that's just kind of the luxury that Balrog has. That's what you have to play around when you play against the character.
Yeah, it was that in and out style that was a really big part of the W right there for Jimmy. Is it the switch? Bison!
Okay,
and Bison comes out to play. All right, interesting. He's going to try to get some of his own plus frame situations going here. What do we got on trigger as well?
Yeah, I'm interested. I don't know this to be
okay, cool.
A historically bad matchup for Balrog or anything. I could be mistaken in that instance.
I mean, he struggles defensively, right? And certainly Boxer can put himself in situations. I'm sorry, Dictator can put himself in situations where he can force bad things for Boxer. But yeah, overall, it doesn't seem like a counter match.
Yeah, it might just be some type of recognition in the way Jimmy plays. We've already seen, like, he's utilizing these tools very well. Oh, and then the Psycho Axe for the crush counter. Definitely looking super strong on this. Tries for the throw bait. Tried to read the jump as well. Couldn't quite find it, but either way, still maintaining this control.
Jimmy out of there again. It's that back and forth.
And I like that. As soon as it went back to neutral, crossover was like, I'm going to use this meter to keep control, right? It's like EX Cycle Ball. Make sure that you have to respect this approach. Oh, but he does not respect the overhead. Got caught, press the button, and then the V-shift gets punished as well. Verge of stun does cash it out. This is a lot of proration at this point, but not enough to keep him alive. My goodness.
Talk about a fast comeback right there by Jimmy. And look, the first time that he tried that reset into overhead into activation, crossover was ready. That time, no.
Yeah, unfortunately, it was all crossover until that point. And now EX, again, maintaining neutral control, but gotta be in the back of your mind now just how dangerous he can be with that V-trigger pop.
Takes that chance to move forward. Jimmy understands, though. Knew that that was not a free down forward Pierce.
Exactly. A lot of neutral jumps now as well. Crossover has been showing the scissor kick, so you see Jimmy looking to try to whiff punish those with one of his own jumps.
A little walk forward, crossover, moving in. Jimmy's not been afraid to get rid of V-meter. What a chase.
Really good chase down, and we got the V-trigger activation, just leading to the throw at this point. Ooh, wait, he got the V-ship, but no punish at this point. Psycho Blast, oh, the neutral jump, fierce. Working out for Jimmy. Give him a little bit more space, get out the sky.
Has that command grab threat, this crossover. Overhead again, he gets the link. He's in there for pressure. All he needs is one, maybe two more.
Yeah, didn't have any EX meter, so he just took the knockdown, tried to make him guess for game. Oh, the sweep, V-shifting the Psycho Crusher. My goodness.
Great patience by Jimmy. He needs just one.
Yep.
Same for crossover, and there it is. The little harassment on the toesies is enough.
Jimmy had a V-meter available. I was wondering if he was going to look for like a V-shift, the V-reverse off the first thing blocked, but looked like he was just trying to walk back. Ooh, he tried to hit it with that again. This time, crossover ready. Yeah, now back to the neutral. The neutral jumps from both sides. This time working out for crossover, leaving him standing after the scissor kick, setting up the throw.
Looks for the same thing yet again.
Oh, yep. And Jimmy now looking for the EX scissors in neutral this time. No neutral jump to be found. Just eats it to the face.
Crossover's there. He's paying attention. He's not letting anything slip by him.
Again, now trying to press these big buttons. You know, he wants that comeback.
Jimmy already showed you can make it happen. He's got, oh, there it is. Crossover, slight step back into his game. So now it's 1-1.
Yeah, hit him with his namesake right there. Broke the ankles, caught him reaching. What a switch to Bison. Not something we were expecting whatsoever, but he looks very comfortable on the character. Looks very used to this matchup as well. I don't know if it's just like how much Balrog experience he has in general or if it is specifically against the Bison, but yeah, this looks prime for crossover.
We saw things that he wanted to do in the first time pay off bigger.
Yeah.
Neutral jumps paid off bigger.
Yeah.
Pressure paid off bigger.
Exactly. He did a great job. I think switching it up, you mentioned the neutral jumps doing very well. Like the EX scissors, the fact that he had his own special, his forward advancing special, really caused Jimmy a lot of problems as well. Nice air, anti-air.
Some of the stuff he keeps trying right now is all getting lit up by Jimmy. The scissors got beaten, the neutral jump got beaten, so Jimmy now is really paying attention, has changed things up. That said, trigger's ready to go on crossover side. Here we go.
Yeah, but you know if the trigger's ready to go, that sweep is not far behind it. As is always trying to slide forward. Great interruption from Jimmy, though. Puts the big stand roundhouse on just in case he wanted to get frisky.
Wow, buttons.
The scramble working out for Jimmy right there with such a big life lead. He wasn't scared to press anything. And then the anti-airs. Oh, Jimmy actually even challenging the Psycho Blast cancel. Expert stuff.
That was such a strong round. Again, what an adaptation. The things that crossover like to do were all blown up.
Yeah, but in that time, he tried to use that EX mirror to get the scissor kick, but stuck by the rush punch, and it's been Jimmy's game. Oh, and then recognizing the fact that it was a Psycho Blast cancel off the air hit, so rush punch to punish.
Here we go. Crossover. Got to make it. Giving up an opportunity here. He's got the punish. And now in there.
Yeah.
We haven't seen the command grab yet.
That's a great point. Yeah, he's been really trying to harass him, but again, Jimmy busted out with the EX this time. Scissor kick catching the backdash, but still not much momentum for crossover. Double V reversal.
Okay, so that V-meter's gone. That's not going to even be an issue. Jimmy with his own neutral jump.
Yeah.
Blowing it up right there and sending crossover out of the tournament.
Yeah, really good adaptation from Jimmy in that third game, right? We saw him completely dominate after getting caught by surprise with the Bison in that second game. Really made sure his own neutral jumps were on point. But I think more in general, just beating him on the ground to the punch, right? Like everything that crossover wanted to do, Jimmy was just presenting something to deal with before it got there. Like the rush punch to start out beating the EX scissor kick. Just really good rush punch game in general. He didn't really play in that cycle or the stand fierce range. We saw whiff punished a couple of times as well. So yeah, definitely some good adjustments in terms of the spacing from Jimmy, and he'll be moving on.
All right. Let's get a little bit of a review here. So it will be Jimmy DR versus Louis Mannon next round to make top 8. Coming up next, we're going to have Ixak versus Bach LX. Winner of that, as you can see, will play against DR Ray.
Ooh, and Ixok versus Bach LX. This should be an explosive matchup if we do indeed get the Honda from. How are you pronouncing this?
I'm saying Ixok, dude. I don't know.
Ixok? I like it. I like it.
I
don't
asked
know. And
the people I asked actually aren't familiar with the player, so they didn't have too much intel for me. His avatar on Smash GG is E-Honda, so that's the only reason that we think it's going to be E-Honda.
But Bach is supposed to be a Seth player. That's the intel we have for him. So that's why I think it's going to be an explosive matchup, right? Because, like, obviously Seth has a really nasty mix-ups, really oppressive ways to put the offense on the opponent. But, of course, very low life. You can explode. And Honda, on the other end, it really makes the opponent hurt. So,
my man. All right, cool. Let's see what we got.
Let's see what we have from the players indeed. Ixok to start off. This is all new for me. This is my first CPT event. Good luck to all of you. So incredible stuff, man. First CPT event and first top 16. That's impressive.
He said, additionally, he's an old school, passionate fighting game player from Santo Domingo.
Ooh.
I'm 40 years old.
My man.
I don't consider myself a top player, he says, but I love the grind to win all matchups. Well, he's doing pretty well so far this weekend. As far as his opponent, what do we got here from Bach? I have no idea which character my opponent plays with. I'm telling you guys, I asked around. I tried to do my research on this. I have no idea which character my opponent plays with. All you need to know is that the EXDP is coming for you.
Ooh.
So Bach has been playing since Marvel 2. Played Tekken 5, other various games. But this is my first Street Fighter series in the Street Fighter series that I actually have played for a very long time. So a veteran of the fighting game scene, certainly. But as far as Street Fighter goes, this is the first big one for him.
That's a beautiful thing, man. I love seeing people branch out. I am a proponent of playing as many fighting games as you possibly can. I know you are as well. We definitely love to see the translation from skill in regards to fighting game, right? Because it's all about playing against an opponent. And really, the more fighting games you play, the more situations you put yourself in, the more just like data and information you have to deal with going forward. And it's a really beautiful thing watching yourself blossom as a player and really take situations that frustrated you before or that you felt unfamiliar with and just becoming second nature. And you're being like, oh, this is how I solve this issue and yada, yada, right?
Absolutely.
And then that's how you get into the beauty of fighting games, into the deeper levels. So yeah, I'm always a big fan of seeing people cross over, if you will.
More than one case, I've been in a situation where I don't know what to do yet. Next, I play another game for a while, I come back, and it's obvious.
It's a wow. The clarity
absolutely has happened. All right, so we're right on the characters, it turns out. It's E-Honda versus Seth. This is a matchup where I feel like Honda does great, to be perfectly honest. He's got such damage output. He has good ways to deal with Seth trying to approach. The bad thing for him, as per always, is that he doesn't have good defense. But other than that, he's got a lot to say in the match.
Yeah, and that's a big fighting game thing too, right? Is that like sometimes characters just have really weak defensive options, and if they get knocked down, then life sucks. But it's all about not getting to that point.
So again, Bach, one of the three Puerto Rican players we have is Ixok now in the corner.
Oh, yeah, let me see.
This V-Trigger 2 is a terror these days.
Yeah, you can see exactly why, right? It's not easy to be reversal whatsoever. We already saw Bach ready for it, and he warned him. He was like, the EXDPs are going to be coming for you, man. EX bus slams, though. You're not respecting the cheeks, and you're not respecting the toes either, my friend.
Yeah, that's guaranteed crouching short right there.
Let me see, try to do something. Yeah, whiffing the buns, make sure he's not going anywhere. Just trying to maybe bait Ixok into coming forward, or excuse me, bait Bach into coming forward.
Okay, well, this actually gives Seth the corner. No, not for long.
Yeah, fought out of it a little bit here, but you know, it's a priority to keep this corner, honestly. Don't want to give Ixok any more room, especially when you got that V-Trigger 2 on deck. Ooh, beautiful V-shift timing.
Yeah, very nice. And interrupting as well. I love this right here from Ixok. No challenge. The challenge comes later.
Yeah, I like it. With a plus frames on that one. Yeah, that was one of the heavier versions of the spin kick.
Over it. Oh, boy. He tries to steal a big turn. It's not dead yet. There it is, though. There it is.
You got the axe kick coming from the rafters right there. Bach doing a great job of really just oppressing Ixok at that point. Who doesn't actually challenge afterwards. Oh! To the other side, though. We talked about this a couple of times. Puts himself in the corner with that butt slam.
That's true.
Big trade.
Already has half-life down. Bach. Anti-air's there as well.
Oh. Nice. Big throw at the start of a... I don't know what it was. one of the EX moves from Honda, but either way, we're at the corner. Hekatakuri's punch. Air-to-air not working out, but instead working out for Ixok. This goes with a super after the hands. All right, I mean, that was very smart, right? Usually the Hondas do like to press their advantage after you hit with the hands.
Oh, man, let me tell you how many times I've done hands-on hit and then nothing. Never. Never.
Exactly, right? So very smart. Oh, the universal timing worked out as well. A little early, and the explosion just outside of range instead. Finding the jump in.
Wow, you could see the bubble, like the sphere. It's just next to him. Oh my god, it was so close.
The AoE range just a bit short on the explosion. Unfortunate for our man on the Seth. But, you know, great stuff from Ixok on the Honda, man. We were expecting some Honda games to be played, and that's what we're getting. The Seth hasn't really been able to find an answer. Each time that Bach's been able to get in the corner, the first V-trigger setup was successful, but after that, Ixok, we see the V-shift, the V-reversal. Great timings on both of them.
Okay.
God.
And getting a knockdown. He's going to have corner situation for himself here. Never mind. What a challenge comes from Bach.
Yeah, really good stuff. And then, he actually got the counter hit, but ended up dropping the combo and then chasing down the air game with the EX butt slam.
Again, I like how he's dealt with that defensively. So Bach needs to find another opportunity for himself. His dive kicks have been helpful on the approach. Okay, here it is.
Yeah, bringing him down. EX headbutt. Gonna let him know with a V-trigger as well. Setting him up for the throw and setting himself up for set point.
Yeah, you can see that it's been difficult for Bach to get pressure going. I mean, he's gotten corner in some cases because Ixok puts himself there. But that's actually been more consistent.
Yeah, Ixok's defense has just been mad solid, right? We talked about it. I mean, that is E-Honda's big weakness. So if you can get the right reads, I mean, you are going to be very successful with the character.
There we go. Got to make this count. He's going to have corner pressure. He has trigger as well if he wants to bring it up for an early one. The interruption, we've seen it so many times.
Yeah, nice stuff this time, though. Not giving him any space to press a button. Slightly this time, though. V-shift going to blow up the hands attempt.
It's too far. And Bach is just out of there. Maybe not for long.
Same with the plus frames. Nice. Good stuff. Keeping it compact, making sure that Ixok really never got a chance to get his momentum going. You know the V-trigger was active, full meter as well. Something was coming, so he made sure he never got the chance to do so.
Anti-air was ready.
My goodness, that headbutt ended up blowing up the crouch fierce.
I'm telling you, the damage counts. God, next hit is for the round and for the match. What awareness! What awareness on the roundhouse. Bach now, just because of that, safe on stun, has corner pressure.
Yeah, that was a huge anti-air, especially if you could take this round, but Ixok still with such a hefty life lead. In control. Oh my goodness, the headbutt.
Okay, so giving up on V-meter here is Bach. He needs to find other solutions.
Oh my goodness, he just walked in his face, pressing the chop, and then the butt slam. We've seen that catch him going to the air time and time again. And with 3 bars on deck, you're back to the corner. Why not do it, right? And he hadn't really been challenging with anything in between the butt slam hits, right? That's, I think, the biggest reason why not do it there.
I totally agree. Yeah, Seth certainly can do Dragon Punch in between, but we never saw that. So cool. Have a party, right, if you're Honda. If you're not, the opponent's not going to shut down the EX butt slam. Again, I like some of the stuff that we saw out of Bach, but there just wasn't quite enough. And so Ixok moves on in loser's side. Bach is out.
Indeed, indeed. Unfortunately for Bach, he will be staying home outside of the bracket. Ixok going to be, what a challenge for him next round, though. That DR Ray to get in the top 8. No slouch. And then, of course, we got Zero Stress versus Brian D still coming. Kaba versus Mike Estrella as well. Should be good matches all the way through here for CPT Central America East. And of course, for all you North American fans, though, you can head on over to compete.playstation.com. That's where all the PlayStation tournaments have been going down in regards to the Summer-a-thon. That's been Summer Win-a-thon, going on until August 31st. So there's not too much time left. So you got to make sure you get in on the action while you still can, because summer is winding down, thank goodness. You know what I'm saying? In SoCal, we get a real hot summer out here. I need the fall so I can keep wearing my crew necks and whatnot. But it's always a good time to play Street Fighter, especially at compete.playstation.com, so y'all can go over there when you get a chance.
In addition, the Capcom authorized mobile game Street Fighter Duel is now available for download in China, and a global version will be coming soon. Keep a lookout for more news on the global release, and get ready to join the journey with millions of players to find out who is the best fighter in the world.
Yes, indeed. So we'll give you all some time to do that. Check out compete.playstation.com. Download the mobile game, because we'll be right back here on Capcom Fighters with more Street Fighter V.
Time to fly, time to fly. Never give up, we won't retreat. The ones who stand have turned to feast. So fly, time to fly. Glory waits for those who fight. We unite, we are street fighters.
Can't start the show without star.
Main event!
Line it up. What a power to the earth.
See what I'm really made
Uh-oh. Pleased to meet you.
The honor was mine.
I'll settle this.
I'm shaking here.
Bow down before my psycho power.
Welcome back, everyone, to the Capcom Pro Tour 2021. We are here with top 16 Central America East, and we have already narrowed it down. Our top 8 winners is in the books. You'll be able to see them in a little bit, but we are still making our way through that round 1 of top 16 losers. Already been some phenomenal action, as per usual, when it comes to the Capcom Pro Tour and Street Fighter V, but we are going to get down to the nitty-gritty. You can see how it's been all playing out. We got Ixok moving on to that loser's quarters to take on DRA, and then, of course, we saw Jimmy defeat Crossover 2-1 in a nail-biting set. He's going to be taking on Louis Men as well a little later on, but we still got to get to that Zero Stress versus Brian D and Kaba versus Mr. Estrella.
Zero Stress, looking for Ed on this. He says, I'm 26 years old. I'm a Dominican Republic doctor.
There you
Shout
go.
out to that. I mean, that scene. I'm a part of the Street Fighter community, and I feel good about it because thanks to the encouraging words of some people today, I got in the top 16 of CPT, and I'm surprised. That's pretty cool, though, you know?
Yeah, that's awesome. 100%, right? Yeah, we're going to see what he had to say about the match as well. We're going to get into the quotes from the players right now. Who we starting off with? It is going to be Zero Stress. One of them is a Brian D, who will be my next adversary. It will not be easy, but I'll give it all that I have. God bless. So yeah, big ups to Zero Stress. He's been putting it down, and this is definitely an answer, a quote that harkens back to his name. It doesn't seem like he's giving it too much. Doesn't seem like he has too much anxiety going into it, not giving it too much stress. Just making sure that he plays his best, and I mean that's all we can really ask for out of ourselves.
As for Brian D, who's a very strong Guile player, he's done well in locals in the DR. He's done well in online local events as well.
Yeah, we'll see what he has to say as well.
I'm very happy to play versus Zero Stress. I feel like you could read that in a bunch of different ways.
Yeah.
I'm happy to play against Zero Stress because it's going to be easy. Or I'm happy to play against Zero Stress because it's going to be a big test. Or I'm happy to play against Zero Stress because I've known this guy for so long.
Yeah.
Read whatever you want to into what Brian D is saying right there.
We were provided no context. Because, yeah, that is definitely one statement that can be taken a multitude of ways. And I want to see what exactly is that way going to be. Is it going to be free? Is it going to be one of those where he's like, look, my man plays Ed. I could have been playing against Cammy or Nash or some nonsense. I'm going to be playing up against this Ed. But we saw Ed do a lot of work as well at the Intel World Open from our man, Corey.
Corey Bell, yeah.
Corey Bell. I can't remember his last name. Corey Bell. Yeah, did great work with the Ed, and we've been seeing that character rise in the ranks a little bit as well. So definitely do not underestimate this character. Of course, Brian D. We don't know if he's underestimating Zero Stress. Again, we don't really, we don't really have an answer in regards to his statement, but we'll see.
Yeah, I think Ed's on the big come up this year. Good character. Quality of life helped big time for sure. He's got solid pressure. Ability to get through tools. The anti-air's right there. That's for sure. I don't know what that was.
Yeah.
Letting Brian D out of a bad situation.
Oh, my goodness. Yeah, he tried for a neutral jump. I don't know if he just really wanted like a throw bait that way or what, but fortunately for him, that has let Brian D back into the game, especially off this V-Trigger activation. But, if you're not going to go with a real follow-up, he's going to expose it. Exposes the reach as well. Now we're locked in this corner. Nice little hesitation, but no conversion. Duffs him in the mouth regardless.
Yeah, I really like the round by Zero Stress. He got into the corner once. Okay, gave it up. Got right back into the corner again, though, when it was his turn. Good sign for him.
Yeah, now doing a great job maneuvering around the fireballs as well. Yeah, again, he really has that rhythm down on when Brian D wants to throw a Sonic Boom.
Well, Brian D finally with the corner. Yeah, confirm is there. He's working on Super, too. Yeah, and he can do great work in the corner. Oh, not for long.
Just like that, the V-Reversal going to give Zero Stress the corner. Right back at it. Yeah, a little bit more hesitant on utilizing the V-Skill to pass through that Sonic Boom. Oh, and then this time trying to use that big stand. Fierce gets duffed for it. And then the Dragon Suplex to put him down. 1 up here in the first game.
All right. Good to see in this first game. The first 2 rounds are so interesting on both sides.
Yeah, 100%. I really like the adjustment from Brian D. Noticing that he really caught on to his Sonic Boom timing. Started using like a Soul Bot, just more normals to blow up that projectile involt move. Stand fierce, respect it, and just got to check on the other side. I like that afterwards, that slight hesitation from Brian after the crouch jab as well, seeing if Zero Stress will bust out. He has a lot of meter on his side.
Brian D mounting the corner for himself. Man, maybe not for long. Yeah, here he is. Full on corner. We haven't seen the EX wake up quite yet from Zero Stress. There it is, called out by Brian D. And he's going to be working on stun, and this should be the game.
Oh, yeah.
Okay, all right, all right.
Most definitely Brian D. Building to that CA for insult to injury. 1-0. Definitely got caught off guard by the end in that first round. And the second round was very contentious as well. But that third round, all Brian D. Really doing a great job making the adjustments that he needed to. And just blowing up the defensive decision-making from Zero Stress as well. That's something that's got to be very on point when you play Ed.
Yeah, it was that mid-range control for Brian D's Guile. And then when he got the knockdown, he was exactly right on what he thought the opponent was going to do.
Yeah,
hard to play against that if you're not guessing right all the time.
Yeah, I just thought he really had like great risk-reward management there. He really respected the fact that Zero Stress had 3 meters on deck. We saw it with the EX. But even before the one that was blocked, like in the pressure sequence after the stand fears, charge up, like he was really keeping it at the forefront of his mind.
Wow. Ooh, okay. Interesting. Brian hanging on, taking the chance to move forward.
Oh, I like that. Zero Stress switching it up a little bit now, right? Not going with a fully charged stand fierce and then just catching him, reacting to it with a big button of his own. Yeah, really trying to go through those fireballs, but at this time, utilizing the sky to go past it.
Beautiful timing on that. Oh, hold on. Brian D's already shown that he's got great offense. 2 grabs. Worried about EX.
Yeah, put that away. The baby boom as well.
Oh, what a call!
Oh, that's some mad damage at this point.
Yo, Super's going to be built here. No, is it going to be just a little bit too far away? It's just a little bit too far away. Wow. Oh, by a pixel, honestly.
Now there, and we are just slugging it out. He actually got the KO on the hit that he was stunned. I don't know if I've ever seen that in all my years of watching Street Fighter V, to be honest with you.
That was amazing.
Zero stress, zero fear, cero miedo. Nice. The Soba kick, once again, has been such a good tool for Guile in that mid-range.
Yeah, a little bit more about moving forward for Brian D here. He's not just throwing booms. And so I love that Zero Stress took that opportunity to throw his own projectiles, noticing that Brian D had given up the projectile game.
Yeah, you see, and that's why he's been kind of giving it up a little bit, right? That projectile invo V-skill is just so good for Ed.
Yeah.
He's been calling it out time and time again, but this time commits to the uppercut a little bit too recklessly.
The offense has been good. Here's Brian D yet again. Yet again?
Ooh, stuffs the stand fierce. Puts him a throwaway. You got to guess for the game. Nice. Staying solid, though. Oh, the soul ball. Once again, we highlighted it before. It's been working out for Brian time and time again. Set point.
Really brave choice by Zero Stress to try to charge up the fierce to get out of the corner that way. It just didn't quite work.
Had a cross up. Looked like it ended up catching the button that Brian D went with.
Okay, this mid-range. Again, I like a lot of what we've seen Zero Stress do in it. Here's moving forward, trying to at least. That range right there has been legit.
Mm-hmm. And then really paying dividends for Brian, but this time we got the anti-airs ready. Ooh, it caught the landing frames, but unfortunately he couldn't make anything happen off of it.
Brian D very light. Right back into the corner. Oh, you can still... I don't know if Zero Stress's name is right now. He's getting stressed for sure. Yeah, the EX comes out to play.
Yeah, you can feel it. You can feel the anxiety building with his back to the corner right there. But Brian, utilizing the EX Sonic Boom, trying to maintain this neutral control. Even taking
the slowness of that EX came out.
That's so
big bummer. It's not enough.
He's on a pixel here. Oh my goodness, and he's still showing no fear. Just waking up with buttons, activating the V-trigger off of it as well. Putting that pressure on. Oh, it's not your turn to play. Zero Stress, bringing it all the way back. I'm telling you, bro, this got to be Pentagon's favorite player right here. Cero miedo, bro. No fear. Pixel health, a non-seeable health. I'm still waking up with buttons.
So much for him being stressed, I guess. That's how it seemed to me as things were going on there. It seemed like a bad situation. But yeah, to wake up with, okay, admittedly the 3-frame button into stuff, still, you are taking a big chance. You're taking a big turn right there.
My man said at the end of the day, if I lose right here, I'm still in my 20s and I'm still a doctor, right? You know what I'm saying? Like,
oh, the right punish is there. Brian's not letting that go.
Yeah, this is doing a great job, Brian D, establishing that ground game once again. Dragon suplex all day, every day. Oh, and Zero Stress, he's done a good job kind of scrambling out of this corner, but he's not done it without taking a lot of damage himself.
Great stun.
Ooh, yeah, we saw that neutral jump he did in the very first game. He brought it back here, not as punished.
Look at this offense. Suddenly, it's Zero Stress's offense that's the killer.
Oh, my goodness, again.
Brian's in trouble.
Yeah, waking up with a button, trying to put his own type of zero stress game out, but no, can't find any type of way out of the corner. And now Brian D falls, and zero stress is at match point.
That cage was amazing right there for zero stress. He's working on it already. He's got the corner for himself, the same position, just on the other side of the screen. Yeah, okay, Brian D, very important to get out.
Right, recognizing how much he got locked up in that last round, he was like, I got to get as much space as I possibly can, as early as I can. Ooh, yeah, that slight hesitation, still respecting a lot of options from Zero Stress.
I think that was Zero Stress trying to walk away. Now he's at the corner yet again.
Ooh, the back fist crunch counter, breaking the glass a little bit. That's good damage here. You see, still respecting all that meter on the side of Zero Stress. Not trying to stick his hand in the blender.
That means no more V meter for Brian D here. Zero Stress finally takes the risk. Punish, it's there. He
tries to call out.
Scoot in. Yeah, Brian D is just intent on using V-meter to get away. And you can see why. Now he's trying to control. The shield comes up. Activation. EX, oh, he does it! The wild miss! Zero Stress gave his own EX in a similar situation. Now it's Brian D's turn as we go to match point for both.
Oh, I really like that from Brian D, showing no fear of his own. Oh, again, this time the jump in immediately challenged. Already back towards the corner. You gotta watch out though, these V reversals. Ooh, Zero Stress instead. Getting an anti-air. Oh, waking up with an EX reversal.
Ooh,
waking up with an EX reversal.
Swing it.
Slugging it out right here.
Neither one wants to take pressure at all, whether it's V reversal or whether it's EX.
Oh, the EX fireball to blow up the sonic booms. That was such a good time to bring it out. V reversal though. Oh, Brian D continuing to prioritize that V meter for defensive purposes. Oh, he knew he was going to try to punish when that whip happened, so he just went with the EX.
Here we go. Zero Stress is exactly where he wants to be. Only V meter on the opponent's side.
Oh,
he's got there with the anti-airs, and enough it is! It is! His corner awareness there. So strong.
Zero Stress taking it on the verge of defeat. My man's had no seeable health left on match point for his opponent. And from that round, rode that momentum all the way back to bring himself into a top 8 losers qualifying position. Great stuff from Zero Stress right there.
You're absolutely right to call out that moment right there. That was the difference, right? It could have easily been a situation where Brian got any hit in the world, and that would have been enough. But that 3-frame light kick came out to play from his opponent's side, and everything after that, not exactly all downhill, but you can see the result in the end. It's Zero Stress 2-1 over Tiger's Brian D.
Man, that was such a good set. So that almost concludes our round 1 of top 16 losers. We got one more match to go, and it's going to include someone that I think no one expected to start this top 16 in losers. It's going to be Bandits Kaba going up against Mr. Estrella. Of course, Kaba, one of the premier players from the Dominican Republic, has put it down offline, online. Wherever the battlefield takes place, Kaba has proved to put a lot of bodies in a lot of bags. But you know, one of the things that Robert Television highlighted during the pre-show was that he thinks Kaba looks better now than he ever has. And I concur. I honestly think so, too. Last year was CBT online. This year, CBT being a lot of online. Kaba looked incredible. Like, legitimately, like, some of the best Street Fighter V I've ever seen. So that's why big ups to Tenryu as well, the person that put him into losers, who has made top 8 winners as well, right? He won his top 16 qualifiers match. So you can see there is so much talent coming out of the Dominican Republic. Not only just the players that you know of, but players beyond that as well. But let us get to the match. Let's get to the quotes that we are known for here at the CPT. I want to see who is going to be brought up first. It is going to be Kaba. It is always entertaining to play against Estrella in tournaments since his fighting style is fast and different from most Rashids. But in these conditions, I don't know what will happen. Yeah, my man's is definitely got to be a little bit scary when there's a wild opponent in the online realm, right? It's definitely hard to react to high mobility characters, a lot of rapid decisions being made, and it is not easy to combat that. But he does have Guile. We'll see if he'll be able to kind of maintain that composure and that like jail that Guile wants to do.
Yeah, I've heard the same thing about Mr. Estrella's style. The intel that I had was that he's a wild card, and when you face him, he's unpredictable. Let's hear what Mr. Estrella has to say. I will only say that Kaba needs to remember that he will play against me, and that is better for him to not underestimate me. I will give it my all, dude. What a sick thing to say. You better remember, you're playing against me. A little bit more about Mr. Estrella. He is a 35-year-old player who is dedicated to being a doctor. I'm currently working as director of a public hospital in Santo Domingo. The community for me is my second family and a good entertainment. So whatever happens here in this video game tournament today, I am sure that he has a lot more stress
for sure.
in the work week than he will have today.
I don't know what it is about these players out of the Dominican Republic, right? They love video game violence, but in real life, they're all about the healing, right? They're always trying to make sure everybody's all right.
Out there. I tell you, this is a very well-educated team. Remember, Hochi was a lawyer as well.
Yeah, absolutely.
Okay, let's go.
We definitely have a lot of high-level people playing the fighting games, man. It's a beautiful thing to see. Definitely one of the, I think, biggest pros of the fighting game community is just how diverse it is when it comes to everything, right? Ethnicity, background, where you come from, what type of career you pursue once you're an adult, like everything.
Totally.
So it's really cool. And yeah, we're going to see Kaba versus Mr. Estrella as well. Of course, Kaba are going to be on that guy most likely. Mr. Estrella, you already heard on the Rashid. And yeah, I love his win quote, right? He's like, bro, you got to remember that you're playing against a wild man. So if you remember that, you might do all right. But if you forget that, I mean, good luck.
Kaba says he likes to share knowledge with my friends, read physical books. Okay, let's go.
Yeah.
And do physical exercises and meditate. That's cool. It's a little insight into Kaba. I didn't know.
That is super dope.
So very offensive style already. And I think maybe the strategy is here, okay, I don't know what you're going to do. I'm not even going to be worried about what happens on defense if I'm playing offense.
Right? Yeah. It's like, well, I don't got to worry about what decisions you make if you don't ever get to make any decisions.
Oh, can't imagine on purpose. Big bummer, Mr. Estrella. He's put back in the mid stage.
Yeah, man, we got the V-trigger. That's kind of like a neutral staller. Oh, nice. EX going right over the Sonic Boom here. But again, Kaba has such a significant life lead. No, it could be disappearing very quickly.
You better remember. You're playing against Mr. Estrella.
Yeah. Sonic Boom went right under, but didn't commit to the full V-skill. Very smart.
Out of there.
Oh, yeah, a little
not
bit too
there
far.
for the punish. But you can, again, see him playing this offense. Yeah.
I like it.
Very offensive, very deliberately forward-moving style for Kaba here. He's not zoning.
Yeah.
He's in there to get the knockdown, play up close, get pressure.
Yeah, I think that's one of the things that Kaba is really, really good at, too, is adjusting his style of guile for his opponent. Like, he doesn't just, like, sit back and rest on his laurels. If his opponent is very wily, very offensive, like, he will beat them to the punch, as you're seeing it here. Ooh, beautiful right there. And he does a great job never really getting enamored with his charge either. You see, he just gives it up for the air throw, gives it up for the walk forward pressure. Like, Kaba is so good.
You can really see his preparation. I mean, it's very clear, right? He has a very obvious, dedicated strategy. That doesn't necessarily make it easy for Mr. Estrella. Like, you can know what your opponent wants to do and still can absolutely work. That's what's happening here. Kaba doesn't want to take the risk of what Mr. Estrella is going to be doing when it's Mr. Estrella's turn. Like you said, it has almost never been Mr. Estrella's turn.
Right? He's only been making defensive decisions. And if you're forcing your opponent into that time and time again, I mean, the onus is on them to make something happen, to make the right read. And, I mean, he just hasn't been able to do it. And the few times that he's had, it's really put them back into a neutral situation. And Kaba has just been the one that's been the aggressor. He's been doing a great job anti-airing Mr. Estrella as well. Like, there's been nothing that he's presented that has given Kaba any problems.
So it sounds like we've gone out of the lobby here. I don't know what we're looking for. I don't have intel that we're going to see a character change, but you never know, I suppose.
Yeah, he might be switching the V-Trigger. I think V-Trigger 1 is usually the favorite matchup in this, just because like you do like clear the screen once the V-Trigger 1 is out there, and V-Trigger 2 you have to be a little bit more combative. You can Guile is able to activate his own V-Trigger or send out some EX Sonic Booms, make it a little bit more difficult than rather just V-Trigger 1. But yeah, it might be something that he bets on just so once he does get that active, he does go with the V-Skill 2 actually.
V-Skill 2.
So not a V-Trigger switch, but a V-Skill switch.
So he's got the air dash.
Yeah.
Now. But I would say this. I felt like V-Skill 1 actually was useful for him. He rolled under a few booms and got grabs as a result. So I'm curious what he thinks this is going to do.
Yeah, we saw it even act as a really well-done meaty, right? When Kaba tried to wake up with a reversal Sonic Boom. Ooh, okay. We already seen the V-Skill 2 at play, though, but didn't net him too much.
All right, with the wind effect, he's got pressure there. Look at the D.
Yeah. He ended up taking the throw, and Kaba, that's just risk-reward management right there, right? Making sure that he took the least damaging option possible. All right, yeah, just kind of, again, lost in the lights with this V-skill movement. And resulting in a stand fierce crush counter. No anti-air that time. Sweet punish with its own.
Well, Mr. Estrella is doing a much better job at not getting knocked down in the first place.
Yeah.
I mean, it's much more neutral. It's already his second V-trigger of this round.
And I think that might be part of it as well, right? It's just how many V-skills he's doing. It's building his V-trigger very quickly. So a couple of V-triggers, able to stuff the Sonic Boom game a little bit easier.
Okay, Kaba still has a life lead, though. Still doing all right on the other side. This is the first extended zoning we've seen from him. He waits. He just waited it out.
So
he was looking for Mr. Estrella to get close. He knew that he was ready for the flash kick.
Kaba just parked all the patience in the world.
Yeah, look at that. Not taking the bait. I mean, he did once, to be fair. He did once take the bait, but after that, and now, he's absolutely hanging out on the other side.
And it's beautiful just to watch the adjustment from game to game, right? Kaba was an aggressor coming out in that game one, right? Not letting Mr. Estrella do anything. But now that he knows he wants to play this game, he's just like, all right, I will chill out on the other side of the screen. Letting you do the weird air dash movement and just anti-air you with a flash kick.
And in the meantime, he's still been able to move forward.
Yeah.
Here he is. He's got the corner. Threatening with off the wall finally comes. Kaba, in the first offensive situation for Mr. Estrella, blows it up instantly.
Yeah. Ooh. And Mr. Estrella able to get on the other side here, trying to push him towards the corner. Successfully does. Oh my goodness. You can see Kaba just patient throughout all that, right? Didn't actually press anything until he landed. Then waking up with a jump forward, EX bust out. Trying to keep this corner advantage here. Doesn't just come straight down this time. New Kaba wouldn't give him that much time the second go around.
If Kaba finds a hit, he's going to end it.
All
Here
right.
he goes. He's going to dash in. That should be that. Kaba will take it 2-0. In that round, look, Mr. Estrella did some stuff that I thought was a little stronger. He didn't immediately get knocked down and pressured by Kaba, and nevertheless, whether Kaba was playing that offensive game, or whether he was zoning and staying patient, or whether he was like slowly creeping up into the corner with the very slow patience, even as he was doing so, regardless, he was strong and adaptable, and like you said, he looks like one of the best in the world.
He really does, man. And how quick he made that adjustment, too, was just so impressive. Like, we really saw that first game, making sure that he prioritizes never letting Mr. Estrella get any offense started. And then in that second game, he's like, okay, let me see what this air dash game plan is going to be about, right? We still saw him start that round pretty aggressively, but as soon as he saw like what type of rhythm Mr. Estrella was going to present, saw that he wasn't going to be as aggressive as usual, he was like, all right, I'm Guile. Like, you could do all these weird air movements, but as soon as I see you actually commit to something, I can let the flash kick rip. He was really good at letting the sweep rip as soon as he landed as well. And then if he wasn't going to do that, he was just throwing sonic booms from full screen anyway. So he's like, I'll build meter with the sonic boom. I'll walk forward. I'll gain ground on you. Like, he just remained calm, cool, and collected and never got caught off guard.
Shout outs to Kaba. He moves forward. Now, that doesn't mean that he makes top 8 quite yet. As you can see, we have one more round left where we're going to have to decide who actually makes top 8 loser side for tomorrow. Ooh. Coming up next, we're going to have TMM Louisman 20 versus Tigers Jimmy DR. That is Team Masterminds for Louisman's side.
Yes.
You know, Louisman is a very strong player. We talked about it a little bit before, but just to hype him up a little bit more, you know, this is a player who has been, I would say, certainly one of the best awesomes in the hemisphere for years. He had a big impact even on bringing up his cousin Mena RD in the first place, right? He's a very strong player, has been for a long time. Even recently, he's been doing well, not just in DR locals, but I believe he took the online local last week or recently in any case, and doing that not just with Dawson, but again, also with Rose.
Yeah, that would be really interesting to see if we get the Rose action. That's what we'll be looking forward to. Of course, Jimmy looked really solid on that Balrog as well. We've seen this character act as a menace to a lot of people with the big -4 buff on all the rush punches. Of course, left a little bit closer now. So, you know, I think it's a fun balance, I think. It's a fun version of the character for sure, right? I think the Balrog players are happy about it. But, yeah, the Dhalsim and the Rose, I'm not really sure. I think Dhalsim, he struggles against Balrog, no?
Yeah, that's often been the idea, I would say. Yeah, it's just not easy for Dhalsim to challenge at some ranges. I mean, each individual interaction, he probably has an advantage, but the risk of being knocked down and cornered and all that sort of stuff can be difficult. So I wouldn't be too surprised to see Rose come out to play.
Okay, yeah, I would like to see the Rose perhaps started out for Louisman. Of course, he did say that he wants Dhalsim or Rose to win Capcom Cup, so he is one of those, right? He rides with his characters, and he's going to ride with the Dhalsim. That is the character that he's most known for here in Street Fighter V. Of course, Rose still one of the most recently released characters. You can see the 2 most recently released characters that we are not going to get to see today, unfortunately.
Illegal this weekend, but next weekend they will be good.
Yes, indeed. So we got Louisman and establish his game. You know, he just doesn't want the rush punch game to get started, right? That's what it's all about, trying to beat him to the punch here. You can see him using these roundhouses, even utilizing these sweeps as well. I like it, the slides. Always just trying to beat him to the punch on the rush.
Yeah, his movement's great. He moves forward really, really well. He's right where he wants to be now. Okay, the V-meter comes off. Got a punish. Not quite there.
Yeah, a little bit scary. But still, Louis Man doing a great job. Wow, that was such a good counter poke.
Louis Man with a big life lead. He's got trigger. If he wants to, that means he's got V-shift. Oh, thrown out of it. Oh, okay. Jimmy tried to steal the turn. Tried to get in there with the overhead. Nope.
Yeah, great awareness from Louis Man right there. Figured that Jimmy would try some type of big haymaker and was ready for it with a throw.
Very strong Louis Man style. That movement heavy, very drill heavy style. Oh.
Yeah, unfortunate for him, does get caught out. And now Jimmy already applying this pressure in the corner. Great stuff from Louis Man, though, immediately checking, now reaching with a throw.
He's got those 2 red bars. He can use the V-shifts. Big buff for Dawson this year.
Yeah, right
Jimmy's patient. I mean, and this is something we've seen out of Jimmy. He doesn't feel like he needs to rush in. Saw that versus other matches as well.
Yeah, great stuff from Louis Man, too. Not even utilizing any V-meter, but he gets popped trying to get that light kick into the slide activation then. Activates off the stand, medium kick instead. Knew that he was at a distance where he's going to stay burning even on the offensive. Goes with a super.
Maybe. Okay, well, at least Louis Man's out of that bad situation.
Yeah.
Now that gray life's still there for Jimmy.
Yeah, exactly. Because of the spacing on the V-Trigger 1, he had to stand there and burn.
All right. Good 100 damage on that medium kick. Jimmy trying to just dipsy doodle his way in there, and he finds the hit, and he continues and takes the round.
Yeah, he got dipsy duffed right there. That's what ended up happening. He tried to stay at that yoga stasis, but out the sky, Jimmy going to tie up this first game. Oh, again, actually beat him to the punch on that stand fierce with the rush. Saw the quick startup of it. Really good counter pokes on these slide attempts. I don't know what's been in Jimmy's water, but he has been ready for that.
Wow, look at that. That was just dash punch block, I think times 5 all the way into the corner. He's looking for the same thing right now.
Finally, the couch jab actually gets caught. Oh, no. Glass is breaking. All the way to the corner we go. Got to guess for game, my man. Oh, he finally got caught reaching. Jimmy with a lesson you will never forget. 1-0.
Yeah, I don't mean to overplay how bad I think this matchup is for Dawson, because I definitely think that he can do it. But you can also see things that are strong for a boxer. Yeah. He gets to push the opponent backwards pretty consistently. He gets to challenge at ranges. Some of his buttons can counter poke versus Dawson's buttons pretty well. And if he ever finds a significant hit, it's always for good damage and for corner carry into situations where Dawson is not great.
Yeah, his buffer rewards from long distance are really good too, because they move him forward, right? Like the EX rush punch just gets you in his face even after the hit. So really good counter poke rewards.
Well, Louis Man's back in there. Trying the character still to jump. Boy. I think maybe the first significant jump we've seen actually comes here as Jimmy's very close to getting the stun. He's got it. What a round. This is going to be a 15-second round. A little bit longer. 17 seconds is good enough as he's at match point.
And Jimmy did a great job. You mentioned the first significant jump we've seen, right? He went through a whole first game not really presenting that option. As soon as Louis Man got comfortable on the ground, he was like, all right, I'll present something different. That's how you stay ahead of your opponent.
Louis Man in there for offense if the zoning's not going to cut it. Oh, no, missed the drill.
Unfortunate. At least he doesn't get caught reaching on the ground right there. That could have been big glass breaking, but a nice juggle again. V-shift. Able to get him out of the corner with a big throw, but we wake it up with buttons. Oh, and then catching the legs. Again, not quite close enough to get that combo.
Louis Man in huge trouble in the corner. Big trouble here.
Yeah, we heard the
Jimmy,
glass break.
Anything. He wanted the offensive universal knockdown. Any challenge? Hold on, though.
Huge. Oh, woken up with the buttons, but ended up trading. He's going to be able to burn. Yeah, double V reversal, get out of that. Oh, yeah, not enough to prevent the trade. Plus frames coming out from the EX Gale, but yeah, committing to the Fierce afterwards, not going to be enough, and that's all he needed, right? Great recognition from Jimmy, knowing that he could slug it out. He got the health to afford that trade and takes it into top 8 loser's side. Well done.
I really like that match for him. Yeah, I think he played it to a T. I really like that he saved that jump for the second game. It wasn't something he presented earlier. I really like that he had a style of moving forward without taking risks for the most part. And then when he was up close, he did a great job at actually pressuring, not letting Louis Man's offense get going really for the most part either. Super, super well played.
Textbook style when it comes to Balrog versus Dhalsim, and we'll see him tomorrow. Top 8 losers side, and he'll be facing the winner of our next match here in round 2 of losers top 16. It's going to be DRA going up against Isaac. Should be a very good, actually. DRA, of course. We saw the Ibuki in winner's bracket, right? I know that he was playing predominantly Claw Vega for this setting, but I mean, right now we saw the Ibuki come out. It looked pretty good. Of course, it did fall in a very close set, I believe, up against who was it? Mono. Is a very, very good. So I mean, no shame in losing to Mono, right? Very strong player coming off that second place performance at EVO Online, and just always one of the threats to take the entire thing whenever he's in a bracket. So no shame in losing to him. DRA going to be bouncing down, and I mean, Isaac, who I believe is very new to the scene. This is like his first CBT, I think he said, is going to be quite the mountain to climb for a new player, but we shall see.
For sure. Yeah, look, and if you're looking to climb some mountains yourself in competitive play, head over to compete.playstation.com for our North American viewers. You can learn more about the PlayStation Tournament's Summer Win-a-thon event, which is going on now and until August 31st.
Indeed, and don't forget about the Capcom Pro Tour 2021 theme song as well. For more details, you see the link at the bottom of the screen this way. This way is, of course, performed by PKZZ, featuring the Ballistic Boys, so y'all can go check that out as well, of course. And we're going to give you time to check that out real quick as we take a quick break here on Capcom Fighter. So we'll be right back with more Street Fighter V. Do not go anywhere.
Time to fly, time to fly. Never give up, we won't retreat. The ones who stand up turn to feast. So fly, time to fly. Glory waits for those who fight. We unite, we are Street Fighters.
If I go too far, please forgive me. Job well done. Yay!
All riders have to strike out on their own.
Do this.
We started out with 16 today, and we're close to finding just 8 left. This is the last matches segment of our top 16 CPT Central America East number 1. My name's Ultra David. I'm with Rinch here. Let's hop into that bracket and just give you a quick refresh on what's up.
Indeed, indeed. Let's see what we got already. One person in that top 8 losers bracket is going to be Jimmy DR, defeating Louis Man 2-0 on that Balrog, looking very impressive, defeating Crossover before that. So he had a tough losers bracket run, but he has made it to the promised land. That 3 out of 5 will be there tomorrow, and we're going to find out who's going to be joining him on the bottom side of the bracket for the rest of the tournament today. DR Ray versus Exoc, Phoenix Wright versus Zero Stress, and then Bushin Master versus Kaba to round it off. But of course, we are going to jump into that DR Ray versus Exoc next.
Yeah, looking for the Honda yet again from Exoc for DR Ray.
Yeah.
I'm actually not really sure what to expect here, whether it's the Vega or the Ibuki.
So let's. I don't want to get that perspective yet. I don't want to think about what DR Ray is doing. You playing Honda a good amount. What matchup would you like to play against more, Ibuki or Vega?
I used to think that Honda dunked Vega, but then he got buffed, and I don't think that's true anymore. So I mean, honestly, in my opinion, I would feel about the same. I think is my view. Maybe I think that Ibuki is slightly harder, but that's not a big deal.
It's not significant enough to be like, oh, I'd way rather play against this character.
I don't think that's it. Yeah, I don't think that's it. So for Ray, it's really just what he feels more comfortable with. We were told before the top 16 that he's been playing mostly Vega today. And then we saw the Ibuki, of course, before. What do we got here? It is Vega. Okay, it is. So he's got great mobility. He has the ability to just kind of hit and run a lot versus Honda, which can be frustrating for Honda to deal with. He can V-reversal through some stuff and then punish it even, which is a little bit different than many other characters can.
That's a good point, yeah. Due to his unique V-reversal to backflip. You commit to some heavy recovery move, you can definitely get blown up. We saw that up against Chun-Li as well in a CPT pass.
It's the kill. Well, not long. DRA is just out of there. Lots of jumping for him.
Yeah.
Ooh, Dixock is where he wants to be.
He wants that perfect spacing to where if you're going to jump out, he'll hit you with a headbutt. Be ready for an anti-air if he didn't commit to one beforehand. Now just harassment with the hands right there. Try to slide on in. He wanted that V-trigger activation. You know this. Exoc knew it as well. Oh, nice stuff coming to the EX afterwards. Going to get the knockdown in the corner. What's next?
Saving the trigger. He's still dangerous. Still has a lot of damage on the table.
Dang, the backbreaker, the bear hug. Oh, unfortunate. Tried for that V-reversal on the gap right there to catch the landing frames, the landing recovery, but not quick enough. Oh, the slice to stuff whatever he tried, but man, just coming out with a chop right after.
Here's Ray. He's got a little bit of a chance. Some damage. I'll tell you, I love the usage of stand medium punch that we've seen out of Exoc. Those stop signs have been putting an end to a lot of traffic today.
And talk to the hand, fam. Yeah, you see, he's still looking for it. And just doing a great job. DRA waiting for it right there. Got a whiff punish. Not too much off of it because the claw was on.
Ooh, looking for a chase. DRA is... What an early jump roundhouse. Okay, this character can pump out damage in the right situations. He's got a good amount there.
Ooh, yeah, actually, yeah, midair hit right there, so no follow-up off that jump.
Hold on, though. Ooh, if it had been hands.
That would have been very scary.
DRA knows he just needs another hit or two. Look at this is the hit and run style. And he's so strong at it. Tried to press buttons too early.
Yeah. Exoc not respecting the V-trigger cancel right there. DRA doing a good job not being too linear about it either. He waited for a really long time before trying that slide. I think he wanted him to jump. Oh, busted out the tech with the EX bust slam. That seems like a pretty good option for Honda after a tech throw situation.
Definitely. Although with that V-skill too that Ray has, I mean, he can get through it. He's got super as well.
Yeah, able to power up on his side with the V-skill too. Yeah, it's going to be big hands. Big hands with the EX bust slam follow-up.
It's on Ray now. Well, that's unfortunate for him. The trigger's already gone.
Yeah, Exoc respecting at that time. This bust slam, yeah, landed in front. Oh, and just dash up with the Ochio throw.
He had rarely dashed. Maybe he had done a couple of dashes in the whole game. And so Ray just wasn't prepared for it right there.
Exactly, because we had just been seeing stand, medium punch, and hands, right? So when the neutral game mainly consists of that, you're not going to be looking for the dash as much. You're going to really be respecting that range. So he took advantage of it in a round-ending scenario. So, I mean, that's classic fighting games, right? Is you condition your opponent to deal with something the whole round, and then for the round ender, you switch it up. So, I mean, great stuff. That's textbook right there. And this is really impressive. Again, Ixok, you know, veteran of fighting games, but pretty new to Street Fighter, new to the CPT, and he has taken it to one of the heaviest hitters this region's got.
Yeah, again, he said, I don't consider myself a top player, but here he is doing great work against some absolutely top players.
And again, right, establishing that ground game, making it very hard. That's why DRA is committing to some of these longer range normals with Vega. Big jump in as well. That may have been, or may be one of Ixok's weaker points. We haven't seen too many anti-airs.
There's the hit and run. Okay. Tried for the anti-air. It's the trade, which is great for Ray. Look at Ray walking way in, way out. That. All of a sudden came back in yet again. Yeah, it's hard to know where he's going to be a lot of the time.
Yeah, but then recognizing Ixok had to make something happen right there, so he just put out the stand medium punch. Of course, with the V-trigger cancel behind it, just blew him up. Yes, sir. Big jump-ins once again. DRA maybe recognizing that as a weakness as well. Ambiguous jump-in right there. Ixok. Either way, I think he just got lost in the lights. Maybe not sure what side, not sure what button to press. And either way, everything that he has been trying has been losing to these jump-ins.
Well, I like the offense a lot from Ray. And again, under the right circumstances, Vega can actually do a lot of damage. But in that round, a couple of the hits that came that Ray found, I don't know if they needed to happen, especially that second one. It looked to me like Ixok was waking up with crouching jab is what it looked like. And it was a jump-in opportunity right there for Ray. So Ixok has got to tighten it up on defense a little bit as this moves forward.
Yeah, all the jabs 5 frames for Honda, right? It's the stand light kick that's 4 frames. So, yeah definitely a dangerous button to press in those scenarios. Oh, nice. Able to get the headbutt. Yeah, a little bit too far to make something happen off the command normal, but still at least presenting something different that DRA is going to have to think about. Yeah, but again, the stand medium punches are just trying to take up that space. And DRA, you can see that great walk speed on Vega. He's been really making a great adjustment to that style.
Yeah, I really like Ray's game plan right now. Early on Stan Pearson, that was good. Here's Ixok.
That's what I'm talking about. His throat.
Oh, you can't jump backwards, buddy. That's not the right way. Wake up light, DRA. He needs more.
He just, the ambiguous stuff actually going to dodge it with the EX headbutt. Oh, but he doesn't care. Just dash up Azuna, drop for the kill. DRA on set point.
So despite some nice changes by Ixok, DRA takes the round. I love what Ray did yet again. Is it maybe more offense here from Ixok? I think that's one of his first jump-ins.
Yeah, right? Yeah, just 99-second jump forward. DRA, you can see just blocking. He was like, what in the world? Universal, there you go, yeah. Got the counter hit. Ixok was trying to keep his turn going, but not the frames to do so. Ooh.
There's Ixok now. No cancel. It was a little mistimed.
Yeah, the big jump in. DRA is going back to the skies again. Has really identified that as a big problem for Ixok. Goes to the back throw, cutting off that screen. Ooh, 2 ships passing in the night right here. Yeah, you see so much air game, but nice. Able to stuff it that time.
Got out. Ray. The buttons. Ixok. It's going to be DRA who smelled blood in the water with that jump like right there. He was not letting go at all.
And then DRA, what I really loved about that ending sequence in the corner too was that he just kept harassing him with buttons because he ended that last round with dash up command throw, right? He was like, I don't have the claw on. You are going to be thinking about that happening to you again. And he just made sure that any and all options to beat the command throw lost to what he was doing. Just expert play.
That's DRA. You know, we all expect him to make a deep run in events like this. And it is going to be at least top 8 for him. So we'll see tomorrow that it's going to be Jimmy DR versus DRA. And losers round 1 of that top 8. All right, we have 2 more matches. Phoenix Wright versus Zero Stress. And then TMM Bushin Master versus Bandits Kaba.
Should be some great matches to finish this off again. Phoenix Wright on that birdie, right? He was the self-proclaimed button presser, going to button pressing anonymous, making sure that he's trying to tilt his opponent at any and every turn. We even saw it with the quote when he was talking about beating his opponent with bananas, cans, and dolphin dives. So we'll see if he'll be able to bring that out once again up against his opponent. Zero stress on the end. I mean, yeah, again, I think it's a character that a lot of people don't have high-level experience against, and Zero Stress did a great job. He was on the verge of getting eliminated from the entire tournament, literally had no seeable health left, stayed cool, calm, collected, it still maintained that Zero Fear style, woke up with a button, rode that momentum all the way to the set victory. So we're going to see if he can keep that going, keep the ball rolling, or if he's ran into someone that will actually maintain their composure in a similar way.
Well, Phoenix Wright versus Hermes Venatori was, if you recall, 2-0 Hermes.
Yes.
And a big part of that was not calling out the right timing by Phoenix Wright to anti-air.
Yes.
You know, to look for that approach. So will that be an issue moving forward? Of course, that's a strength of Cammy.
Yeah.
But it also sort of speaks to the fact that maybe he just wasn't prepared. Maybe he didn't have the reads in those situations, and those are things that Zero Stress can capitalize on as well.
Yeah, 100%, right? Like, I think a lot of the Eds really like to play a ground-based style, but I would like to see him test him with the jump-ins just because that's what exposed him in that first set. However, of course, Phoenix Wright already pushed towards the corner by Zero Stress's Ed, and I mean, ready this time, right? Maybe he identified that as a problem in that first game, too, and has been working on that in between sets.
We got the can. Yep, the confirm comes, and Phoenix Wright gets to move forward.
Yeah, but then just harassing the legs. Oh, commits to the EX, and he's going to end up cornering himself because of it. Oh, my goodness, just running into 3 kicks. That was a super kick party if I've ever seen it.
Well, Phoenix Wright told us before that he is a buttons monster, and you can see that there, too.
Yeah, exactly right. It's going to be counter hits either way when you're a button monster. Oh, my goodness, going to make him guess for game here, using the EX to escape, but that pushed him too far, so he didn't get the crouch medium kick follow-up.
Hold on. Okay, all right. Putting an end to that.
Yeah, Zero Stress. It looked a little scary, but getting that first W. And now Phoenix Wright, you can see, already started, Button's happy, but ends up committing to a slide that gets him a lot of damage. Yeah, bring him close for that plus frames.
Yeah. Phoenix Wright. Wow, it's happened twice. Zero Stress lets him get away.
Yeah.
So we talked about anti-air. I will say I think so far Phoenix Wright has been legit on that.
Yes.
He's got corner control.
Right now, I mean, yeah, he just didn't have the right offensive read there, but I mean, that was just a real good bet from Zero Stress, utilizing that EX DP. Oh, command throw. Yep. Nah,
got him. Yep.
So slow on that EX reversal. Unfortunate.
I love that he went with the command grab there. Zero Stress had challenged with his crouching short before. In a situation where Phoenix Wright gets to move first. So I love the grab.
Yeah, but not putting out the can here. Yeah, utilizing the can to make that jump in very difficult to deal with. Oh, back-to-back with the throws, though. Zero Stress now. Kind of establishing the ground game in a way that he knew Phoenix Wright wasn't going to be putting anything out there.
There again is the anti-air. They're actually both legit on it.
Nice.
Zero Stress has been good on the combos as well. He's here for the corner play. He's got super. Next hit could be for the round. Next hit could be for the game.
Yeah, we got to pop the
Again, plus
trigger.
times. So not too much.
Yeah, neutral jump. Keeps him out of range of that. Wow, busted out with the armor once he got come close for the plus frames. That was really smart. Oh, EX Dolphin dive.
Here we go.
Haven't seen that too much. We got the corner as well. Gonna activate the V trigger. Actually keep him on that side. Caught him off guard. Checked his legs and takes the W. Yeah, that was good stuff. Early cancel on that stand fierce right there. I think really caught him off guard. And then, like, I don't know if he was walking back or just not expecting the situation that was going to follow up, but got clipped with the crouch medium kick.
All right. Zero Stress.
Zero Stress, man.
I like a lot of what he's doing out there. I like that I like his neutral game. I like when he presses buttons up close. I feel like a lot of that's really great timings.
Yeah, oh man, it is not easy to play with Birdie on the ground, and he's been doing a good job of it. You can see again, beating him to the punch right there with the crouch medium kick, respecting a lot of these big normals that Birdie does have in his arsenal.
Well, I think you can tell by the charge ups as well that he knows that he has made it so his opponent doesn't want to press buttons in mid range.
Oh yeah, the legs as he tries to walk back. Oh, the EX chain to blow through that projectile. Very smart for Phoenix. Oh, not a big punish from Zero Stress, though, and a V reversal immediately as soon as he pops that V trigger.
Over it! It's just the perfect time!
Super smart right there. Yeah, long distance on that sweep. Always been difficult to punish, even with them making it a bit easier.
Yeah, out of there. I like that a lot. You can't V reversal the part that breaks you, but other than that, yeah, you can get out.
You have guard break here. Oh, coming into a throw afterwards. That's big damage being Ian. Now you got to guess for game, son. He's got 3 CA on deck. Oh, he tried to commit to the EXDP, but nah, recovered in time to not get punished. And Phoenix Wright puts himself on the board.
Playing like there's no stress in the world. Make that choice.
He is not worried.
EX right there, yeah.
My man's is getting massaged while playing. He's like, I am fully relaxed.
So, mission accomplished in putting the opponent into the corner, but hey.
Ooh. EX busts out right there. Yeah, I like that from Phoenix Wright, actually. Just a wake-up backdash. So much life. Birdie is very good in the neutral game, but anti-air stuff this time. Very difficult angle to contest.
Oh, yeah, that anti-cross-up stuff hasn't existed for a couple seasons at this point. Here is Zero Stress. Look at that stun bar. It's so close. Anything's going to do it. The grab. That's going to be the stun, and it'll be a match point for Zero Stress.
Man, that is always such a scary situation to find yourself in. Big combo. It's a one hit in the stun because you know you're going to die after. Can establish the neutral game. EX afterwards, yeah, a little bit too far to take his turn back with that crouch medium kick like he wanted.
Zero Stress is often harassed there. Phoenix Wright sets out the banana. Into not too much. I really like how Zero Stress dealt with that. And he jumps forward expecting it. He's got super. He's a dangerous man as he's scheming in.
Yeah. Oh, he actually does stay on the same side here, so he gets clipped by that. Tries to go with the sweep, but he was close enough to get a clean punish with it.
Zero Stress looking for the super. It's not there. He didn't cancel in time.
Yeah. Oh, but it doesn't matter. Busts out with the EXDP, and then the throw to finish it off. Zero Stress gonna be in that top 8 loser side. Well done, man.
Love seeing that kind of stuff right there.
Because he's a new face to the CBT as well, you know what I mean? So
yeah.
Big ups to Zero Stress right there. One of those players that I think from his comments said he wasn't really expecting to get this far.
Said he was surprised.
Yeah, and that is really cool to see him continue on with Ed, a character that gets underrepresented here at high-level CPT play as well. So, I mean, it couldn't have worked out better. I'm a big fan of his name, big fan of his gameplay style, and I'm going to be a big fan of seeing him tomorrow in that top 8. Now, we got one more match to determine who he's actually going to be facing in that top 8 losers bracket. It's going to be Bushin Master, who is rocking that Zeku, as, you know, the namesake will allude to, up against Kaba, you know, the finest Guile on the planet. You know, sans like Daigo and stuff.
I mean, he's certainly one of
my
them,
favorite.
right?
He's my favorite.
I think that's fair to say, and he's definitely in the conversation for the best overall. I don't know if anybody would disagree with that, right?
At least in the conversation, 100%.
Absolutely right. He has been so strong for so long, and again, in coming into this, many of us expected that he would definitely make top 8, right?
Yes.
He seemed like a favorite for many of us, and so the fact that he is in loser's side means he needs to do more work, but he can certainly end up in that top 8 regardless. If you recall, he was sent down 2 losers by Tenryu, who did make winner's side top 8. He's having a great weekend so far.
Yeah, exactly. Tenryu would be Louis Man too, so it's not like he'd be any slouch whatsoever. That Nash was doing mad work, and we'll see him tomorrow. But yeah, we are going to see the last participant here is going to be Kaba, as you mentioned, going up against, who was it again?
It is going to be Bushin Master.
Bushin Master, that's right.
So Bushin Master, yeah, that's strong Zeku.
Yeah.
When we saw him earlier, it was versus Mena RD,
Yes.
and Mena, as Bushin Master said, like, is a genius, right? And so when Mena played, he just knew exactly what was coming up next. All right, you want to activate V-trigger? I jump. You want to get out of a situation by blocking? I throw. You're hoping to take the grab, right? He's just always right, it seemed.
Yeah.
And that's a tough spot to be in. Kaba is also at that level of play, right? Like, he can certainly do that same kind of stuff.
That's what I was going to go to. And now he has to face Kaba, who I also consider a genius when it comes to stuff like this. And it's very hard, you know, being a player like that, going up against 2 phenomenal players. But not only that, but 2 titans of your scene, of your country, right? Like, he is also from the Dominican Republic. These are one of the 2, like, leading forces behind getting this region eyes and views and stuff. So it is definitely, you can get kind of lost in the lights with how special these players are. But if you're Bushin Master, this is the time. This is an opportunity to make yourself like known and put yourself on that type of level, right? So hopefully he can rise to the occasion.
100%. Again, he's gotten top 3s. He's gotten top 8s at both locals in the Dominican Republic and the online local.
Yeah.
He, to remind you all, says, I'm a fighting game enthusiast since 2019.
2019 was the last year we got to play offline. So as you mentioned, if he started in January, that is just 1 year of offline experience. The rest of that is a pandemic online play. And for him to be playing this well, him being this composed and this bracket has been very impressive.
All right, Kaba with the little side switch to start things out. We'll see what his take is. Again, as Kaba, you don't know necessarily how he's going to go. Will he play that offense? Will he play the zone? And we know he's both very good at both.
Yeah, absolutely. And we saw both on display in his losers round 1 top 16 match. Is able to switch it on a dime depending on what is going to frustrate his opponent more.
Right back in there.
Yeah, Kaba, even though betting on the up forward right after getting knocked down the corner once, though. I love that. Sneaks in behind, gets the walk under. Stun, send him to the stars. Yeah, we're going to go back into Young at the end here. Very nice. Oh, but Cobb, after that whole sequence, just waiting on an EX flash kick forever.
There it was. Finally, the V-trigger came out. Is this the hit? It is! Kaba dashes up. It's not going to be quite enough, but he'll get Oki. No, instead he just wants to put up a shield, and Bushin Master jumps right onto it.
Beautiful sequence of booms there. I'm going to be making it very hard for young Zeku to shoulder through, to jump through. Either one was going to be difficult.
And it is a mix. It's a mix of zoning. It's a mix of offense. Here we're seeing, oh no!
Yeah, a big drop actually. It's going to open the door for young Zeku to get his game started. Just waking up with the stand medium punch. I'm not sure what he was betting on Bushin Master to do, but he was correct.
Talk about being a genius.
Yeah.
Here's the slide activate. And Kaba now just blocking it out for fear of that V-trigger on the approach. Love that Bushin Master just chased him down with the grab.
Really smart. Ooh, and yes, that's the thing. Once Zeku actually has that V-Trigger 1 active, his lows become so much more of a threat because he can cancel that crouch medium kick.
Kaba's just trying to walk out of there. No, you can't. You can't do that.
Waking up with a stand light kick with a buffer behind it this time. Oh, and a great read from Kaba right there, recognizing that he was going to try to bust out, take his turn back.
Waltzing in was Kaba there, maintaining the corner too.
Oh, yeah, man, catching the recovery frames on that stand fierce. One of the best buttons for young Zeku, but it is a commitment.
Okay, it's gone.
Man, Kaba has done such a great job of not biting off of that throw bait either. He's done reversal crouch jab each time. Super blocked. Oh, punished with a CA of his own. Just to add insult to injury right there. Let him know.
That little series was very strong for Kaba, both on offense and then on defense, right? As he guessed correctly both sides of the equation. To take that first game.
And to be fair, that might not just be insult to injury. The Zeku reversal super is a little bit weird to punish because it's like has a little bit of horizontal range and then brings him back. He was in the corner, so it probably would have been fine, but either way.
It's cool. It all worked out.
1-0 for Kaba. Ooh. Yeah, it looked like a little bit of a hiccup right there. Ended up not completing his run sequence. Oh, no. Shouldered it a little bit too early, ended up running into a sonic boom, and now Kaba just ruling this neutral game.
Bushin Master's trying to get close. Here's the jump.
Yeah, this is big.
He's saving it. This has got great pressure. Okay, Kaba's out. We've seen it twice. It's 100% success.
Exactly right. It's like the first time you knock me down, I'm going to bust out. This time he does a V-shift, staying very active defensively, not really trying to block it out. And a great challenge again. He has been like 100% on these challenges off of the jabs. Kaba now on set point. Like, there's been so many instances where it was like off V-trigger, he'll do like V-trigger cancel, crouch jab into walk back, and Kaba just doing reversal jab every time. Now we got the flash kick on the Bushin flip. Like, this man is just a monster.
Yeah, and it was right into offense after that. And now when he needs it, it's patient defense. He interrupts at the right time. His flash kick anti-air is there. Again, it's there. Bushin Master has trigger, but can he even bring it into play?
Hey, that's
Maybe not. Here's Kaba.
Oh, just waited for it. Didn't have the charge for the flash kick autocorrect.
Trying to jump over a slide activate. Bushin Master understood. Same idea again.
Bust out with the flash kick yet again. Oh, and he shoulders underneath one, only to find an EX on the other side. Kaba going to be your last participant in that top 8 bracket for tomorrow, as we expected.
Again, he was one of the favorites coming into this thing. It took a little longer of a road than I think he was hoping it would, but nevertheless, he does make the top 8. Shout-outs to his opponent, again, Bushin Master, who's been playing this video game for like a year and a half.
Yeah, I love
and is having fantastic success already. So shout-outs to that. That is super, super cool. Looking forward to seeing much more of that in the future, but not going to work out for him today. Here's a recap of what you all just saw.
So yeah, this is going to be the losers bracket recap. We see Jimmy coming from that round 1 of losers top 16 to qualify. He's going to be facing DRA tomorrow. Of course, DRA dropping from that heartbreaking loss to Mono, still making it into that top 8 to fight further on. And then we got Zero Stress completing his losers bracket run as well, taking down Phoenix Wright 2-0 to face Kaba, who brought down 2 players 2-0 in Mike Estrella and Bushin Master. But big ups, as you said, to everybody in our top 16. Of course, our top 8 winners bracket as well is looking fierce. I know Mena's in there. Hermes Venatori is in there. You can see the way he's breaking down right there. That's going to be our first winner semis. And then the other half of winners is going to be Mono versus Tenryu.
All right, yeah, there's a quick look at the bracket. We'll talk about that in more detail in just a little bit, but just to remind you, for everybody in North America, all of our viewers from North America, you can please check out compete.playstation.com to learn more about the PlayStation Tournament's Summer Win-a-thon event, which is going on for the remainder of August. It ends August 31st.
Yeah, and while you're waiting for your matches there in the Winter Sumathon, you can check out the Capcom authorized mobile game Street Fighter Duel, which is available for download in China, and a global version will be coming soon. So keep a lookout for more news on the global release, and get ready to join the journey with millions of players to find out who the best fighter in the world is.
Alrighty, so we are going to take a short break. Stick around. We're going to be recapping the top 16. We'll tell you who we think is going to do great in the top 8. We'll see. Hang around for that.
Time to fly, time to fly. Never give up, we won't retreat. The ones who stand have turned to feast. So fly, time to fly. Glory waits for those who fight. We unite, we are street fighters.
Welcome to the centre of the world. Great Britain's mighty capital, London.
This country is incredible. I will become a lawyer. I have to.
So then, let us unravel this mystery and discover what events led to this curious murder.
Who are you?
Herlock Sholmes. You must have heard of me.
We must solve this case, Naruhodo-san.
Let us engage in the art of deduction, Mr. Naruhodo. Well, what have we here? It would seem the truth is now tantalizingly close.
The defense demands its right to a cross-examination. Objection! Your testimony completely contradicts the facts.
Objection! My lord, with all due respect, this is an outrage!
You're the best lawyer in the world.
The good old days when we'd be in
And what's good, everybody? Welcome back to twitch.tv/Capcom Fighters. You know what it is. It's about time to wrap up the day. You can tell my hair is up. That means the work has been done. And we have arrived at our top 8 for tomorrow, but a great top 16 that we saw all day today, right, David?
Yeah, definitely. I think it's really cool to go back and check out some of these matches. Looking into the winner's side, Mena RD took it pretty strongly over Bushin Master, but I think you could say that it was a great display by Mena RD.
Yeah.
Right? It's not that it was a close match. It was that it was nevertheless a really impressive match the way that he won.
Yeah, that Sakura was looking super on point, which is one of the characters we expected him to bring out, very stable, and he's just so good at playing that like strike, throw, walk, speed, heavy type character, and Sakura on display, super good at that. Obviously, the stand light kick buffer, definitely always being a pain in the rear ends of his opponents. On the other side, we got Hermes Venatori playing that same game, right, with the Kami, the great strike throw game, high mobility in the air and on the ground. It's going to be a dangerous winter semis. Of course, it's going to be bandits on bandits as well. And then on the other side, we got Mono and DR Ray. Mono, again, very impressive showing, right? Definitely not free whatsoever. DR Ray, one of the best players in the business. Mono is just having such momentum right now and really showing out lately.
Yeah, again, second place at EVO Online last weekend. Doing great this one as well. And then to round it out in winner's side, it was Tenryu versus Louis Man. So Tenryu beat both Kaba and Louis Man, two of the strongest players in the scene in this in this tournament, I should say. And in making that top 8, yeah, I think he looks like he's a big threat.
Yeah, I mean, the Nash was on display. So if you're a Nash player out there, I highly recommend checking out that Louis Man match. And in general, it's just been real cool to see Nash show out here in the latest season of Street Fighter V. But of course, we also had the losers bracket of top 16 as well. You can see how that all played out. We saw Jimmy DR take down Crossover in a very close set. We saw, I believe, Crossover bring out the Akuma and the Seth in an attempt to take down the Balrog, but couldn't quite get the job done. And then Balrog taking it to Dawson once more to put Jimmy all the way into that top 8 losers bracket. And of course, we saw Ixok versus Bach. Ixok really doing a great job with that Honda. Gave DR Ray a real run for his money there. And I mean, that is an impressive display because this is like his first CPT, one of the first times he's ever taken Street Fighter seriously. Like he's been a fighting game fan for a long time, but this is his first real entry that he's dedicated himself to Street Fighter. I mean, I hope he keeps going because that was a very good set up against DRA. And then Zero Stress just squeaking it out up against Brian D. That's got to be my favorite set from the top 16 just because of that literally unseeable health comeback that Zero Stress put out.
100%. Yeah, that's the one that sticks out in my mind as the most interesting match, the closest match. And you could see great things on both players' sides. Yeah. Of course, it was Zero Stress who moved on, and then 2-0 over Phoenix, right for him as well to put him in the top 8. Down at the bottom, we mentioned it, Kaba in loser's side in this top 16. Ultimately, he makes it through versus Mr. Estrella, and then versus Bushin Master to put his spot in the top 8 as well. So let's talk about this top 8.
Yes.
We mentioned earlier that 13 out of the top 16 were from the Dominican Republic. Well, you can see it's even more lopsided now, as it's 7 out of 8 who make the top 8 in this scene, in this CPT, all from the Dominican Republic. The only one who's not is Mono, and he, for sure, is one of the best players in the region. So he's in there, but I think that's interesting. I also want to point out that this may, in fact, be the most educated top 8 in Street Fighter history, as we have 3 doctors here. We got Hermes, we got DRA, and we have Zero Stress. All doctors. Okay, and keep in mind that we also got a couple of geniuses up there in Mena RD.
Yeah, exactly.
In Kava. Like, this is a super, super smart top 8.
Yeah, and I know everything is going to be on display tomorrow. All the finest Street Fighter V available. As we said, Mena RD versus Hermes Venatori, going to be a battle of very grounded characters. I mean, I say grounded, but of course Kami exists as well. I just talk about how good she is on the ground. Oh, yeah. And of course, Mena RD picking characters with that strength as well, and the Birdie, the Karen, the Sakura. The other side, we got Mono versus Tenryu. Again, a Fong versus a Nash. Definitely a matchup that we have not seen much here in the high-level CPT realm. So I'm looking forward to that one. And then Kaba and Zero Stress. I mean, I'm probably my most anticipated match tomorrow, just because I think Kaba is really on an elite level right now, legitimately like one of the best players in the world. And then Zero Stress on that Ed, he has shown that he's got the clutch gene. He's able to really make anything happen with nothing. So I am looking forward to that one. And of course, DRA and Jimmy DR as well, looking to slug it out. Most likely the Vega versus the Balrog.
I think that's right. Yeah, so we're going to see a bunch of different characters. We might see more characters than we have number of players. That is a real possibility, as we're going to have 3 out of 5 sets. as far as just before we go, if you had to say who you think is going to end up with the W here in the CPT Central America East #1, who do you got?
Kaba, bro.
Kaba's going to make it back from loser's side?
From loser's side.
Okay.
From loser's side. I think Kaba versus Zero Stress is going to be a really fun match. 3 out of 5. I think we'll give Zero Stress some time to adjust a little bit and really kind of get used to figuring out who he's fighting against. And who he's fighting against is one of the best players in the world. And that's why I think Kaba will still win the set. But I think it's going to be a tremendous experience for Zero Stress. I think he'll come out of it a better player, even if he loses. And, of course, the winner's bracket is, from top to bottom, dangerous, right? I mean, Mena, Hermes, Mono, everybody is looking lethal. But I just have this unshakable faith in Kaba right now, man. What about you?
I think that's reasonable. I just want to, I don't think that's off the wall. I think my money would be on Mena. He is, of course, you could say all the words about him, right? And we often have. He's been one of the strongest players in the world for many years at this point. He's had success against these players, right? I've seen him beat all these players in top 8s in the past and in tournaments in the past. So for me, that's who I would be looking at. Would I be surprised to see the return of Kaba from loser side? Not at all.
Oh, yes. It would be less surprising than the return of CM Punk to AEW, right? You know what I'm saying? But I think that is going to wrap it for us here at the CPT on day 1 of Central America Top 16 East. We've had our top 8. We're going to find out who qualifies out of the first event tomorrow. Please join us. Same time, same place, twitch.tv/CapcomFighters. We'll see y'all then.